and fly like a phoenix. Let's get lit and then we talk shit. You know we play games, but dog, you don't quit, My name is Tricky F. Retro was by the death. Gonna be entertained, probably laugh until you stay out of breath. So turn your TVs on and go to twitch.com and subscribe, cause you know where the party at. Throw your blunts up one time for retro. Put your lighters up and let's roll. Got music, games, vibes, the best strong. We gon' do it just like a pro.
And we chill, and we vibe. We gon' set this party off right. And we chill, and we vibe. Recap is all the way live.
Are you drunk? Are you drunk? Are you drunk?
All right, welcome in everybody. I hear shout outs in the background. What is going on here? Welcome in everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hold on, before we get started, I hear the shout outs in the background. Is that is it gone now? Welcome in everybody. Welcome in. This is your boy Retro Recap, as you guys are getting ready to see in a second. We appreciate you guys for being here. Clap it up for being here. It's been a little minute now. It's been a little minute. And look at what we got here. Look at we got. Oh well, it's not popping up. What happened? Did I lose him? Or
did you lose me?
Well, we lost the visual. I can hear you. Hold up. Let me go back. Yeah, there's always gonna be some technical issue going on. There we go. Clap it up for 25. Hey. There we go. There we go. Can we get a big clap it up for that one? W25 Owls.
Hey, appreciate you having me.
Hell yeah.
Just to be here.
Yes, sir. It's great to have you. And welcome in, everybody. It's been a couple days, and we appreciate everybody for being here on the Retro Rewind podcast, episode 12, 25 Owls. A little couple housekeeping things before we get started. If you have a question for 25 Owls, we have a link in the pin comments, the Padlet, like we did last time. Go ahead and get your questions in if you got some early questions. We'll be checking those out as we go along. Chocolate Mocha Sauce, welcome in. Chocolate Mocha Soca, welcome in. Excuse me. And Tiffy B, thank you for the 35 in a row. Clap it up for that. Tiffy B. Everybody. Dark Coral with the 10 in a row. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great one. We have a whole owl. Yeah, we have a whole owl on the screen. Right. and 25 Owls is celebrating his affiliate anniversary on Twitch today. That's another clap. Clap it up for that.
I am. Yes, sir. Appreciate you pointing that out.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah. And we're going to actually dive into a little bit of that later about your streaming career. Cause we had a nice little conversation yesterday. And as I told you, I said the pre-show is always the podcast. We talked a lot, and we had a very great conversation yesterday, and can't wait for you guys to get a piece of that. So here's the Padlet. Go ahead and get your questions in now for 25 hours as we get started. All right, this podcast will be on Spotify, Double R Show, and also on the YouTube page. So make sure you check it out after the show is over. All right. So let's go ahead and get started, man. I'm ready to go. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our rapid fire question. Let's go ahead and get a little icebreaker, a little rapid fire before we get. I'm so confused. What about what? Just put your questions in. So it gives you a spot at the bottom where you can just post your questions, and it pops up, and then we answer it because we're not doing the channel points anymore. Y'all both like babies. It's crazy. I haven't smoked it all yet. Like, I'm sober. I can guarantee you that'll change by the end of this podcast. I'm gonna be baked. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm sober right now. But yeah, Coro, yeah, I'm sober. I don't know about you, Al's. How you feeling? Are you sober or are you
I'm weed sober. I'm alcohol sober, but I took some mushrooms. I'm not gonna lie to you.
On the shrooms, okay.
I had some lion's mane and some reishi. Something.
Okay, nice. No, not lion's mane shit. I got some shroom candies the other day, and obviously without the psychoactive effects of it, the lion's mane, but I felt good. I said, oh. It feels like a real, like I'm actually taking an actual like shroom mushroom right now. I was like, oh,
right, right. Sometimes you eat one of the mushrooms. So you take one of those things and then you grab the bottle again. You look at the bottle like, what is in this? Are you sure there ain't nothing in this? I feel great right now.
That's what I'm saying. I felt lifted. I felt absolutely lifted. All right, let's get started with our rapid fire section here, man. I'm ready to get going. All right, 25 hours. Let's get started. Favorite game all time?
Gotta be Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right, current game you're playing the most?
College Football 27.
Ooh, and I still have to play that game. I'll talk about that a little bit later, because I got some questions before I get on that thing. All right, favorite sports team?
Golden State Warriors.
Favorite athlete?
Usain Bolt.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Favorite music artist?
Probably Bob Marley. If you're looking for a live, it'd probably be Kendrick right now.
Okay, Kendrick. Kendrick's been hot, and you're a West Coast guy, so I know you fucking with that.
Yeah, Kendrick cooking.
Yes, sir. All right. Favorite movie or TV series?
Probably Peaky Blinders. Probably my favorite TV series.
Okay. Favorite cannabis strain?
Sirius Black.
Ooh, what is that? That's a sativa hybrid, sativa indica hybrid.
Yeah. That's a hybrid, sativa dominant hybrid from Washington growers.
Okay.
It's got blue and it's got blue hairs and purple leaves. So it looks like coal, like dark purple coal, like rolled in dirt a little bit. It's nice.
Okay.
It's nice.
How often do you smoke that?
It's kind of hard to get a hold of now because now I kind of got addicted to that one when I was living in Washington. But I haven't had it probably in like 6 or 7 months. But yeah, it's probably been about 6 or 7 months.
I haven't heard of that.
I do have it. I gotta buy it by the ounce. It's bad.
Okay.
Bad.
It's one of them must-haves. I got to smoke that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, them sativas get your mind activated. We're gonna talk more about that later. We're gonna talk because 25 hours grows his own weed. So we definitely gonna pick your brain. We definitely gonna pick your brain about that one. Okay. Favorite snack during a gaming session?
Ooh, gotta be Flamin' Hots, but not really Flamin' Hots. There's this lesser evil version of Flamin' Hots that you get from Target, and they're based. I think they're like called Blazing Hot, Blazing Hot Puffs or something like that. But it's basically Flamin' Hots, but not Cheetos. That's probably I could eat like 2 bags of those. Okay, because I saw Flamin' Hot Cheeto Puffs. And I tried them for the first time. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect the Flamin' Hot Puffs. I was like, okay. Yeah, the Flamin' Hot Puffs. I've had the Flamin' Hot Puffs too. And before my wife switched me to them lesser evils, that's what I used to eat all the time. I eat a whole bag of those. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And she was like, yeah, you got to stop eating these. And I love them Flamin' Hots until it turned my stomach up. And I'm like, yeah, I got to put these away. Got to put these away now. Flaming hot bubble guts for real. Like Kanye said, everything that's supposed to be bad make me feel so good. It make me feel good, but it tastes good. Then you deal with the after effect after. Right. Yo, I do dishes and cook. Welcome in, clap it up. I do dishes and cook. We welcome you with open arms. Welcome in. We got 25 hours on the show, episode 12. Welcome in. A couple more. One game you could play forever. Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay. I can cut it on right now and play it forever. Okay. 3 words that describe 25 hours. I'm a loyal person. Mm-hmm. I'm an easygoing person. And I'm an intentional person. Okay. I love the loyal. I love that, you know, and it's hard to find that these days. Like people who are loyal, you know, I think that's 100%. That's a big trait for me is like, I gotta be able to trust you. I respect you and I gotta be able to trust you. And as long as that happens,
we Gucci. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We can have a difference of opinions. You know what I'm saying? That's life. But respect and loyalty go a long way.
100%. 100%. I think it's funny that you said, if I could trust you. Like, to me, like, loyalty is of the most importance, because if you loyal with somebody and somebody's loyal to you and you guys have that mutual respect, you know that at the end of an argument or at the end of a altercation that you guys might have, that you know that there's an avenue for you to repair it. You know what I mean? So you feel comfortable being yourself, because you know, like, everybody's not going to have the greatest days, right? So if I'm loyal to you and you're loyal to me, I know that if I'm having a bad day, you still gonna come back, even if I do a little bit too much. Yep. And I will give that same person I'll give that person the same leeway when they're doing too much. I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you for the rest of the day, but I'm gonna come back. and knowing that with a loyal person, it kind of makes it makes it sting a little less, and it also makes it easier for you to ask for forgiveness and apologize.
Because you know the other person is going to accept it for who you are, and you know, because we're not perfect. We're imperfect people. We do things. We're not going to be able to please. We're not going to make everybody happy all the time. We have our days,
right?
You know, but as long as you can accept me for those times, then you know what I'm saying. That's what keeps good relationships going.
Yeah, don't just rock with me with the good stuff, because I'm gonna have some bad ones now.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I'm gonna have some real bad ones.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, we are. You better accept me for who I am, because I'm gonna have my days now. And
right.
You know, and you know, it'd be on the same thing on Twitch. Like, I have my days, like, they know, and some people be having their days. I'm like, all right. I know it's one of them days, you know what I'm saying? We just got off a retrograde season and retrograde season.
Was retrograde.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. So I had to understand that that's just what it be, and it's like no love lost. It's just, you know, that's how things flow sometimes. So, you know. All right, perfect. That was great. That was a great icebreaker. All right, let's get into 25. Let's get a little bit of background. Talk about introduce yourself to the audience, and we're gonna get into the questions. Born and raised, and the story behind 25 Owls.
Okay. What's up, everybody? It's your boy 25 Owls. Low stress, highly blessed. I was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina, on an army base, so I'm an army brat. And like, just a little bit about myself, like, I'm somebody who definitely likes to take consideration into like the living and the laughing of life. Like, I don't really like to hang too much on negativity, because I know that like negativity exacerbates itself, and I've lived quite a life, and it took me a long time to figure out that if I keep thinking about negative stuff, then negative stuff is gonna keep following me around. So once I realized that, I tried to turn my life around and live on the positive things, you know, because I don't know if many of you know me, but one of my mottos is low stress, highly blessed, and I try to live that every day. You know, I never say no stress, right? Because there's no such thing as no stress. You're always going to experience stress every day, but there's always more blessings. You can count way more blessings than you can count stress, right? And if you choose to make that decision, your life will always be in a better frequency. You vibrate at a higher frequency, at a higher vibration. That's basically the type of life that I choose to live. You know, things go bad all the time, but if you count the things that go good, I've found in me in my personal life, you appreciate it way more. I grew up out in California. I moved to California when I was 5 years old, with my parents, who are Trinidadian immigrants. And my dad took a job working for United Airlines, probably in the late 80s, early 90s, and we stayed in South San Francisco for a while. So I grew up kind of by myself a little bit. You know, I had cousins, but I was so far away from my cousins. So, you know, I grew up talking to myself and making noises and making my own self laugh. And that's the kind of person that I am when I stream is that, you know, if you come into my streams, you're going to catch me talking to myself. You're going to catch me telling myself jokes and laughing at the jokes. Or I might say, you know, random things and you'd be like, what is that man talking about? But, you know, I'm thinking it in my head and I'm replying to who it is that I hear in my head. So my wife was the one who told me that I should take this show on the road and put it on the internet because I've been doing this my whole life, right? So she was like, you know, people would think that you're funny. And, you know, I told my wife, like, nah, people won't think I'm funny. You don't know what you're talking about. But, you know, 1 year later, I have found a couple of people who actually think I'm funny, you know? So I'm really
you're gonna be funny to somebody. You're gonna be funny to somebody out there, you know.
Right, somebody just like everybody ugly to somebody gonna think you hilarious, right?
There you
really
go.
just need to hang out with the people that think you hilarious, right? I started playing video games. Probably my first video game system I had was like a Nintendo 64, so that's when I first started playing video games.
Oh, I fucks with you. That's what.
My favorite game back then was Diddy Kong Racing.
Ooh.
Diddy Kong Racing. I was a big Diddy Kong Racing dude.
Was you lurking on one of our? It's crazy. We was just talking about this a couple of weeks ago when I was playing Donkey Kong 64 and I was giving out my favorite games on the N64 and it was Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Nintendo had a stack lineup.
Oh man, 64 was serving them bangers. 64 had them bangers. 64 had Rogue Squadron. 64 had Gauntlet Legends when Gauntlet Legends first came out. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Oh man, Conker's Bad Fur Day is like my coming of age video game. I was like, whoa, like video games can be like this? Like, I didn't know video games could be like this. You know, I used to have to sneak in. I vividly remember asking my mom to buy me Conker's Bad Fur Day and trying to convince her that it was a little kid's game. And obviously it was M for mature, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely was.
Took it up to the front. They took it up. She took it up to the front. We was at GameStop. Oh, hating ass GameStop. He took it up to the front and the dude at the register goes, "This is a mature game." And my mom looks at me and I go, "I don't know what this guy's talking about." I'm like, I don't. Can you just buy the game? And then she kind of looked back at him. She was like, "What do you mean mature?" And he was like, "Oh, well, you know, it says right here there's some little bit of nudity in this and a little bit of that." My mom looked at me and I was like, "Mom, it's a cartoon." And she kind of just reluctantly paid for it.
Yeah, you still got it though, right?
Yep. Yeah, I still got it. And then when I got back to the house, man, my mom sat with me and watched me play that game for probably about an hour before she let me go. Man, you want to talk about me bullshitting in this game for 15 minutes just to make sure nothing happened. I was just running around in circles doing a whole bunch of stuff and just hoping that nothing crazy popped up. And she was like, "Man, this game is easy." And then she just walked off. Man, I remember that like it was yesterday. I thought I got away with murder.
Had a whole cigarette in the hand. I said, "God damn, Conker." I said, "Okay." This is a little bit above the average children's game down here. That's okay. But I like that they took that extra step. Like it was different for a Nintendo game to have that kind of like vibe to it, you know?
Right, because it's funny that you bring that up because Nintendo wasn't really getting down like that. And then like just off that, I always used to play with Pipsy in Diddy Kong Racing. But after Conker's Bad Fur Day came out, I was like, "No, I'm rocking with Conker, bro. Conker is a G, right? I'm going with Conker from now on."
It's crazy because you might actually spark me to do another playthrough of that game. I've done a few before on that game, and I used to use the turtle tip with a tip top.
Tip Top was a gangster too.
And then once you beat the game, you get the clock. TT, you got the clock.
Yeah.
But he's my favorite. And what was the other one? The rooster, the chicken. What the fuck was the chicken's name? Drumstick. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
That was fire.
That game brings back the whole N64 brings back memories. Talk about your parents. You talk about you was born and raised on an army base. But let's talk about a little bit about your parents, like in terms of like traits and how do you connect with both of your parents, like who do you like connect with more, like who do you like have similarities with more?
I love my parents in phases. So both my parents are Trinidadian. So I don't know if anybody else in here is Trinidadian, but like it was strict, so super strict in my house. Both of my parents were in the military. My father retired shortly before Desert Storm. No, my mom was Marines. Is Marines the ones that went to Desert Storm? Yeah. So my mom went to Desert Storm. And both of my parents are characters. My dad is more like, I feel like I'm more like my dad because my dad is a Capricorn and I'm also a Capricorn.
Okay.
And his father was a Capricorn. So, and my mom is a Leo, right? So what my mom always used to tell me, my mom always used to say that I'm an absolute Capricorn. And what she meant by that is like, my father was a Capricorn and his father was a Capricorn. So the only thing I know is Capricorn, right? So I wasn't raised on the man side of my family, right? So the only way I know how to be a man is a Capricorn man. So she was like, every time like I would do something that remind her of my father, or anytime I would say something and she didn't like it or she thought it was funny, she'd be like, you are an absolute Capricorn. I'd be like, I don't know what that means. But now that I'm older now and I like talk to my wife or something like that, or I'll be talking to my daughter, there'll be times where I'll just be like, yeah, I am an absolute Capricorn. Because you know, I'm real direct with the things it is that I say, and sometimes I have to actively tell myself to practice empathy, you know, because Capricorns are really like excuses. It's either you doing it or you're not doing it, right? So everything else is a waste of time, right? So I had to learn, you know, how to be empathetic and how to show compassion to people that, you know, are struggling with themselves, or people who don't have all the answers, or people who hesitate. As far as like, I feel like I'm an introvert, but because my mother is a Leo, right? I have like an extrovert type of I have an extrovert gear that I could put myself in. My mom would always put me in public spaces and when I was a child, and make sure that I was confident in being able to speak my mind and be able to hold conversations with people of any age. And I feel like anytime I go out in public, I tend to turn like a little towards my mother, and that's what I appreciate about her, is like my mom could work a room, boy. I wish you could see my mom work a room.
Sounds like a Leo though.
My mom was a combat nurse, and then after she retired from the military, she started doing catering. So my first job when I was a child was catering. So she would be sometimes she would do the catering, and then she would also host like the events and stuff. So when she would host the events, like my mom would, you know, kind of doing what you were doing, but in a public phase where she would have the microphone and she would be, you know, introducing people and running a little bit of material. And, you know, my mom's got a thick Trini accent, so everybody be like, oh my God, I love your accent. And, you know, my mom also made like bomb ass food. So they would be like, who made the food? And she'd be like, I made the food and I'm hosting the event. They'd be like, oh my God, we love that. You know, my mom was about this for real. So,
well, what's your favorite dish from mom though?
Yeah, what'd you say?
What's your favorite dish from mom? She can cook. What's your favorite?
My favorite dish is roti. I could eat roti all day, every day. If I could eat roti for the rest of my life, I could eat roti for the rest of my life. My second favorite dish though is macaroni pie, which is basically mac and cheese that's baked in a Pyrex dish. So the greatest gift that my mother ever gave me was teaching my wife how to make macaroni pie, because now I think my wife's macaroni pie is better than my mom's macaroni pie. Don't tell my mom I said that, but my wife be the macaroni pie and roti. If I could eat macaroni pie and roti for the rest of my life, that's exactly what if somebody was like, what's your last meal? It's roti and macaroni pie.
It's hitting like that.
I don't care. Yeah,
11 out of 10.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care what kind of roti it is. I don't even really like fish like that, and I don't really like seafood. I'll tell you, I'll tear up some shrimp roti though. I'll tear up some chicken roti. I'll tear up some beef roti. I'll tear up some curry goat roti. I'll tear up some chana roti. I'll tear up whatever kind of roti you got. Vegetable roti. It could just have carrots in it, and I'll still tear it up. I love roti.
Okay, well, shit, remind me to try some of that, man, soon, because I mean, the way you talk about that thing.
I'm hungry right now. I'm mad I can't have no roti just by talking about it. I don't like talking about roti because I can't have it every day. So my father, through working for the military, he got a job at United, working for Boeing, and my father is a aeronautical engineer. So what he used to do is he worked on like the flaps on the wings for the Boeing 747 and the 777.
Okay.
Like basically figuring out what type of engine power you need to put out, how long the wings need to be in order for the plane to be able to take off and stay in continuous flight. When I was little, I never really used to understand what it was that my dad did, but then once I got older and I started researching it, I had a newfound respect for my dad, because like kids, they always just like my dad's my dad, right? And anytime like we would go out to these events, like my mom would host an event, or my parents would be hosting events, because my parents used to love hosting events like most Caribbeans do. They'll call all the Caribbeans out from the area, and they would always be at the house. So my house was always full of people on the weekend. They would always be like, "Oh, your dad, your dad is really smart. Your dad is really smart." I'd be like, "This guy can't even help me beat the levels on Nintendo, bro. Like, really, not this guy." It's like, "No, your dad's really intelligent. Your dad's really. You should listen to your dad. He's really smart. He's really smart." And I remember my dad with his coworkers would come over, and his coworkers would always give me slack. They always give me flack because they'd be like, "Man, why you don't listen to your dad? Your dad be at the job talking about you don't listen to him. You know how smart your dad is?" I'd be like, "Man, he couldn't be that smart." He's like, "Man, I listen to your dad at work," and I'd be like, "Why? Why do you listen to him?" He's like, my dad is a nerd. You see his pants? You can see his socks right now. Like, look at my dad. My dad used to tuck his pants into his shirt on the weekend.
Oh my
Jesus. Tuck his shirt into his pants on the weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like
that was
me
one of
being
those.
a young man, me being a young man, I always used to be like, "Man, my dad is so not cool, bro." But then but once I got older and I really started like paying attention to the stuff that he was saying, I was like, "Oh, yo, like my dad is like fun. Like this is pretty dope." I found a new respect. But as far as like the things that I take from each of my parents, like being a personable person when I choose to be, that's definitely my mom's side. But as far as like having a love to learn and a love to create and a love to seek out answers and find ways wrong, I definitely got that from my father.
You did. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. I mean, I love when people can talk about their parents, because part of your childhood growing up, you're picking up things from them, and so the fact that you can speak. I mean, I'm really putting this out there on some serious, because not a lot of people can speak about their parents in such a glowing way, especially in this day and age. The fact that you can rave out your parents and talk about the differences like that is really impressive, and it's really appreciative, because I was a person who was born just with my mom raising me, and my dad wasn't around that much. So hearing the traits that you have from your dad, the time that you spent around him, that's really that hits something different, because and how impactful that is to grow up and have both of your parents be there and be an inspiration and really get you through. So that's a W.
I'm always thankful to have both of my parents in my life, because I have friends, I have enemies that didn't grow up with both of their parents, and sometimes like the things that they be going through, I'll send a text to my father and be like, "Listen, man, like some of the problems that my friends have, I can't even quantify these problems, because you were in my life, and I'm appreciative of that." Like having two parents is a blessing for real. It really is.
I believe it, because I feel like you definitely need both of what they offer, the male and the female. Like there's things that you're as a man for you that your dad can really hone in with you. Because I look back on that, I'm like, damn, that's kind of the things I missed out on a little bit, is like that dad figure teaching you man things. You know what I'm saying? When you're around your mom, and I got a sister, so I meant to ask you, are you the only child? Because I didn't hear you mention anybody else. I'm not an only child. I've got two other siblings. Okay.
That I have more. I have two siblings that I talk to. I have four other siblings in my life that I have.
Okay.
I have an older brother and an older sister, and a younger brother and a younger sister. So I'm in the middle.
Okay. Talk about them a little bit.
So my older sister, she is a school teacher. Well, she's a school principal. Let me not say she's a school teacher. She's not a school teacher. She's a school principal. She's a school principal. That's my big sister. That's Big G. She is also a Capricorn.
Oh.
So yeah. So,
I see a theme here.
she was bad business when we was younger, man. She was bad business. I used to be scared of my sister. I'd be like, yo, let me tell my parents and don't tell my sister, because my sister gonna hem me up before we get to the house, take me back to the house, dry snitch, and then I'll get in trouble.
Damn.
I just want to skip the whole sister part, and I'm just gonna go tell my parents. Like, I'm off that.
Right.
I'm off that. My older brother didn't really spend that much time with us. He does his own thing. But we love him all the same. He's had his ups and downs and his trials and his tribulations, and we can't pass judgment on our family members. One thing that I did notice from having older siblings and having younger siblings is that each one of us experiences our parents differently. We all weren't raised by the same people, and that was something that I learned through my older siblings. But it was something that I kind of got jealous of through my younger siblings. But there was a time I was a baby for 8 years before somebody else came along. So I got a lot of attention before somebody else came along, and I kind of made me a little bit jealous. But like, my younger siblings, I love them to death. Like my younger brother and my younger sister, even though they get on my nerves all the time.
I feel like it has to be that way, right? How that goes. Like that's that family, that sibling love.
I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you, and I love them very much. I might not like them very often, but I love them. I have a love for them that obviously it's unmatched, right? Like you especially when you're the older one and the oldest ones aren't around anymore. And I come from a time where my parents would go out and they would say lock the door and don't answer it for nobody. We didn't have a babysitter, and that's how me and my younger siblings grew up. Yeah, that's how me and my younger siblings grew up. So, Saturday would come around and we would get on our bikes, or we would hit the streets, and we wouldn't come back until the sun came down. Like that, those times are the best times to me, is running around in the neighborhood, running around with your homies and my little brother. Me and my little brother, he was obviously he's 8 years younger than me. So, when I was doing all my nonsense, when I was in my teenage years, he was 8, and he probably thought I was the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Right. So, and I was gassed up because he thought I was the coolest person on the planet.
Made you feel good.
Right, yeah, that's your little fan, low key, right? But then when they get older, right, and then they start to get critical of you, you like, damn, bro, like,
I'll start opening up as they get older.
yeah. You be second guessing yourself, you be questioning yourself, questioning whether or not they whether or not they telling the truth or not, or they have their different relationships with our parents and stuff, and sometimes they think that you had it good, and then you be like, did I have it good? No, you had it good. Like, what are you talking about? So I love my family with all my heart, man.
I love that.
I appreciate all of the lessons that I had to learn with my family, the good and the bad lessons. And I appreciate the fortitude that the people that have to deal with me when I'm not the best version of myself have to not give up on me when I'm having my worst days.
Absolutely. And that's a very underrated point there. You know what I'm saying? We talked about earlier, just accept you for who you are, because we all have those days. And and with family, you be around them more, so they get to see those days more often than maybe it's like some of your friends or whatever. And still to be able to accept you for when you go through those times is Very key. All right, that's great. Before we get into the mental health and the cannabis, I do want to get the questions open because we got some great questions in here from the community. So let's go ahead and get this thing popping. First of all, I appreciate everybody. If you have a question for 25 hours, the link is in the pinned comments. All right, get your questions in. We got a question. How long have you had your locks?
9 years, nine or 10 years. I've cut them 3 times, but I started growing them about 2 years before my daughter was born. And my daughter's 8 now, so yeah, it's probably been about 9 or 10 years.
Okay, I got a follow-up question. What is the hardest part about growing or maintaining? I guess answer both, I guess.
Growing the locks, the hardest part is that ugly phase. Anybody that has locks knows what I mean with that ugly phase. Is where you're transitioning from having an afro, right? And your afro lopsided, and now you got to start twisted, right? You got to start twisting it. But then when you twist it, they're not heavy enough to lay down, right? So then you look like Coolio, right? So like everything like kind of like hanging out here. And luckily for me, I was at a point of my life where I didn't really care about what it is that I look like. And my younger brother has locks too, and he went through his ugly phase during COVID, so it was a good thing for him too because he was inside. But as far as growing the locks, it's the ugly phase, and the ugly phase also is when your hair is growing the slowest. So you feel like you're going to have this ugly lopsided afro for the rest of your life, right? And then one day, once you start twisting it and exposing your scalp, that's when your hair really starts growing. And then once it starts growing, it's pretty easy because, like I have sisters and, they twist my hair and they do my hair for me. And, I was blessed enough to have that type of situation. But as far as like maintaining locks, how much it costs to maintain them? That's the
real question right now.
Right, bruh. So like, let's say, like, just like if you a regular dude and you getting your hair cut, I mean, I have a homie that cuts my hair and he still only charges me $30, but I be looking at the prices at his barbershop and I think it's like $50 for a haircut now. That's crazy.
That's insane. I remember $15.
Right. I remember when it was $20 for a cut, and that included the tip. My sister don't live close to me now, so I have a loctician that I go to. So every time I go to get my locks done, it costs like almost $300. So that's probably the hardest thing about it, and the drying process after you wash it, because if you don't dry them all the way out, you're gonna have to wash your hair again, because I guarantee you, as soon as the sun touches the top of your scalp, you're gonna smell like mildew. So
yeah, you don't want that.
You do not want that. You do not want that. So it took me. I was the type of person where I had to learn how to take care of my locks, because obviously I had short hair until I started growing my locks. So I would shampoo with the wrong shampoo. My first mistake was shampooing with the wrong shampoo. So you don't want any shampoo that doesn't wash out thoroughly. So you don't want anything that does extra shine, extra hold, or anything like that with a heavy conditioner or any type of additives that you can't wash out of your hair, because then that's what collects what makes your hair smell. Is it because you're not thoroughly washing it out? I had to learn that the hard way. And drying my hair all the way out, I had to learn that the hard way, because obviously you just when you have short hair, you just dry your hair and you don't even really got to dry it really. You could just sit there and let it dry out, but like the intention that you have to take with drying your hair is, it's an extra 15-20 minute process. And keeping your scalp healthy is probably to add on to what makes it, what's the hardest part about maintaining it is scalp health. Because when you get it twisted down, like let's say that somebody's rough or you're tender headed, like you could get sores and stuff inside your hair, and that can be painful, and that could cause you to lose your locks, and that could also cause you to prematurely go bald in the areas that they're splitting your locks in. When I first grew my locks, they were freeform, and I didn't know I was twisting them myself, and I wasn't twisting them thick enough. So when I eventually went to a loctician, she was telling me that, like, I'm gonna have to combine a lot of these locks because if you don't combine them, you'll lose your hair because you don't have enough hair at the root to be able to twist it and not pull the hair out. So that was the main thing that I had to learn, was that, you know, if you don't gather enough up at the bottom, then the lock itself will be lopsided and die and have certain when I say die, it'll be thin in certain areas to the point where it'll make your locks look kind of ratty, and nobody wants ratty locks, right?
No,
like only my mom at all. Right. So
okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Native? What's up going on? They want to know your shampoo. What shampoo you use?
So I know exactly who asked this question. So listen, they were dragging me. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I use dog shampoo, and let me tell you why. Right. So they were dragging me, and they were dragging me in my stream the other day because I told them that I use dog shampoo. It's called Mink Sheen dog shampoo. So listen, the shampoo is the reason that I use that shampoo is because it is for sensitive. It's for dogs with sensitive skin, and it smells really great. It's kind of like that same that same secret that they have with mane and tail, because mane and tail is horse shampoo. Right, that humans started using more often than not. So yeah, I use Mink Sheen dog shampoo.
Okay,
that's the shampoo that
I hear something new every day, bro. This is wonderful. I don't know if I'll ever hear that from another human being again, bro.
I'll die behind that shampoo. I swear to God, I'll die behind that shampoo. That shampoo smells great. And it keeps my hair hydrated with, and I can wash it, and it washes out clean. It hydrates my scalp, and it washes out clean. That's that's the most.
That's what you're looking for, right? I'm saying that's what you're looking for, right? Okay, that makes right. So I guess as long as the results get you what you're looking for, the kind of shampoo don't really matter, right? As long as it's getting you what you're looking for, heck yeah, heck yeah. Okay. Next question we got is well, just in case. We got some new people that just came in. Your favorite meal and your favorite dish, I guess, is all on the same question all time.
My favorite meal, my favorite meal is roti. Roti with macaroni pie and jerk chicken. Every time me and my wife host something at our house, we don't make roti because I can't make roti because it's like a 2-day process. It's this whole thing. It's a whole thing that goes into it. But we make jerk chicken and macaroni pie. So it'll be a culmination of those 3 things. And what was the second one? My favorite meal? My favorite dish. My favorite dish is probably my wife's macaroni pie. Like, she can make it for me if it's hot, and I'll still eat it. She'll make it. She could make it for me in the winter, and I'll still eat it. I'll eat it too. And the best thing about macaroni pie is that the next day it tastes better.
Ooh, you don't get that from a lot of foods to eat. You gotta get it that same night, right?
Yeah. And it tastes really good when you microwave it. There's some food where, like, if you eat it the next day, like if you have barbecue chicken the next day and you put it in the microwave, it kind of loses a little bit of its luster. Not macaroni pie, boy. That fresh macaroni pie tastes good. That leftover macaroni pie tastes great. That leftover microwave macaroni pie is top notch.
Yeah, no, the way you talking about that, I'm gonna need to try that thing. Dishes and cook, I'm gonna need to try that thing, cause I mean, whoo, you talking.
And a secret too, if we barbecue sometimes when we do it, we could do 2 things. So I like make a pulled jerk chicken sandwich, and then I'll take like the leftover macaroni pie, and I'll cut it into like a slice. And then I'll put it on top of the sandwich, like a slice of cheese, or like a thick slice of cheese, and you eat it. Top notch. If you put it on your burger, if you take the macaroni pie and you put the macaroni pie on your burger to replace the cheese, bruh. You want to talk about the itis?
Oh man,
I'm just making myself hungry.
Yeah,
just
for real, bro. Like, damn, like I want a dish right here, right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, man. Should we be knocked out, man? We wouldn't even finish this podcast, bro. We'd be sitting here.
No, I wouldn't be no use to you in 30 minutes. So wrap this up. I'm trying to go.
I wouldn't even.
I'll be like this on the podcast.
We be both nodded off on the stream with a whole live podcast. They be hitting my phone like, what the hell's going on here? We had that macaroni pie. That's what happened.
Right, 100%.
Yep,
100%.
We got a question here. This is also something I had for you too. The story behind 25 Owls, the name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the story behind 25 Owls. So it involves my daughter. So when we first moved back to California after my daughter was born, I was working at this urgent care, and it was a little bit after, I think it was the day after Valentine's Day. So I collect Hot Wheels. So I always, every week I go into like Walgreens or Target and I look for Hot Wheels cars for me to buy. And I that's like my addiction, right? So one day I went into a Walgreens that was close to my job, and I was looking for Hot Wheels. But you know how Walgreens has those sales after the holidays where, you know, all the stuff that they had in that holiday specific aisle, everything's on sale. Everything's like 60% off, 80% off. 50% off. There was a limited edition Squishmallow that was a pink owl, and my daughter was born prematurely, so she was too small for the conventional baby pillows that they used to have. And my wife was like, oh, the baby needs a pillow. So I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna go in here and I'm gonna see. I was thinking about it, but I wasn't really going in there with the intention of buying the pillow. So I bought the little Squishmallow and I brought it for her, and I gave it to her, and it's been her. It's like her blankie. It's been she goes with it everywhere ever since. So my daughter's birthday is on the 25th. So that's why you always see like these pink owls, and all the owls that I always post, they're always pink, because it's a run on from my daughter's favorite stuffed animal. Okay. So and when my daughter is talking about like practicing empathy or being nice or being a good person, that's the personality that 25 Owls have. So 25 Owls has taken on the personality, or her stuffed animal is called Owl Friend, and the stuffed animal represents my wife. So whenever my wife isn't around, or my daughter leaves the house and goes to spend the night at somebody's house, or spends the night at her family's house or her cousin's house, she'll take the stuffed animal, and it's a representation of my wife. And the empathy that my wife shows, and my wife is a very kind person, and my wife thinks that she's funny, so she's always running material. so because of that, I wanted to embody that aura that she has, and the way that my daughter cherishes that owl. That's the type of persona that I wanted to put forth when it came to streaming, and that's why I chose the name 25 Owls.
Okay, I love that. She said I am funny. She believes she is. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am. This isn't a question. I am.
My wife, when it comes to jokes, my wife is a volume shooter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, okay. she gonna get her shots up, right? So of course she gonna make some, right? You can't miss. I mean, you can't not make it if you don't try, right? But I mean, if you're going 4 for 10 or 3 for 10, right? Are you really funny? But sometimes you go 9 for 10. Sometimes you go 10 for 10. Right? But if you always running material,
I guess it all balances itself out.
Right. Yeah, a volume shooter for real. Sometimes she'll be talking and she'll be running some jokes, and I'll be like, what are you talking about? That is not funny.
Right.
And then sometimes you will be running jokes, and I will wake up laughing and go to sleep laughing the whole day. The whole day.
Well, you know where this is about to go. So now, I didn't have this on the agenda, but let's talk about it. Like, how did y'all two meet, and how did that compatibly work out initially, and how long y'all been together?
Man, we've been together forever. I met her in high school. I was with somebody else at the time, and she came to mind my business. So I was standing by myself, and I was with one of her friends, and she didn't believe that I was with one of her friends. So she came over to me and she goes, "Are you so-and-so's boyfriend?" And I was like, yeah. And she was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's my partner. And I was like, okay." And I just walked off from her. And I never forgot that interaction though, which is kind of funny. So then later on, when we reconnected, I think we reconnected. If it wasn't OK Cupid, it might have been Plenty of Fish. It's throwback. This is before Tinder and stuff like that.
Okay.
So when we reconnected, we hit it off again, and then we immediately. It was like it's like we had been friends for the longest time. I wonder how long have we been together? We've been together for a long time. It's been a long time. She gonna get mad at me because I don't remember. Because I don't be trying to. I don't like dating stuff. I don't like dating stuff. It's definitely double digits. It might be going on 20. It might be going on 20.
Okay.
It really might be going on 20.
Okay.
It's been a long time. That's my ace though.
That's love right there. No, clap it up for that. I mean, clap it up for tenure, man.
Yeah. That's my girl.
Now, what is the biggest thing that y'all connect? Like, what is the two traits that both of y'all have that make y'all connect really well together?
I think it's the loyalty. I think we're both loyal to a fault, to the point where like I think we allow people to get away with things because we're loyal and we have compassion because anytime unless I do something that really provokes you, anytime somebody gets upset with me, I tend not to take it personally because I could never wrap my brain around me being the person that made you this upset. So I'm always like, okay, I might have been the extra pour that made the liquid come out of the cup, but the cup was already full before I got here. And my wife's kindness and my wife's compassion is what I love the most about her. And I think the thing that makes us compatible is just we're so sarcastic. We are and our daughter is sarcastic too. We are so sarcastic. And I remember when we first reconnected and I started taking her out on dates. I remember what I was in my profile. My profile said, what was your ideal, what's your ideal first date? And on my ideal first date, I said, oh yeah, girl, like I want to take you to the city and rob old folks with you. You know what I mean? Because that way I know that you down for me for real, and I know we won't get caught because they old, right? and I use that as like a filter, right? Because if somebody thought that wasn't funny, that's not really the person for me, right? But then she would always be like, when are we going to the city to rob these folks, bro? Like, you know, I'm trying to rob some old folks with you. Like, what are we on right now? And when we first reconnected, we were still in the clubbing phase, and me and her both love to dance. So us dancing on the dance floor, we were definitely compatible dancing, and and music is our love language. Okay. Like we'll send each other music all the time. And I think I told you this in the previous in the pre-thing for the podcast is she'll send me a song and then she'll be like, did you listen to the song that I sent you? And I'd be like, nah, girl, like I'm not trying to listen to that song weak. And then 6 months later, 3 months later, I'd be like, hey man, did you hear this song? This song is fire. She'd be like, oh, you mean the song that I sent you 6 months ago? And I'd be like, you didn't send me that song? Stop lying on me. I sent you that song. I sent you that song. And then she'll show me the text message and she'll be like, what did they say on that? What's the date on that? And I'd be like, all right, you got me. You did send me that. You did send me. It's fire though.
I love
it's fire
that.
Though. I listen to it more than you now, though.
I love
so
that.
Now what?
That's a great connection, bro. And sarcastic humor is my kind of humor. And I was trying to figure out, like, what do we connect with besides the weed and something like it's that. It's the sarcastic, witty humor. And it's great to know, refreshing that both of y'all are like that. Because I haven't actually seen, like, I do dishes and cook. I can tell by the banter in the chat. I'm like, I like something about you, but I couldn't tell what it was. And I think you just hit it right there. It's the sarcastic humor. Because when I saw the name, I was like, the name caught my attention first. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I was like, because I don't see many names like that. I was like, that was caught my attention. I'm like, I like this name, but I like you. I was like, okay.
Funny thing about her name, right? So this is how sarcastic she is. She made that her streamer name because she would be playing video games and dudes would get mad at her because she was a girl and she was dropping them off in a video game.
Right.
So her name is Rage Bait.
Right.
That's why she changed her name to that. Like that's the type of person that she is. And then she loves getting on the mic and arguing with dudes because dudes will really just be like, like, what's your problem, girl? Like female this and female that. She'd be like, no, yeah, I am a female and I got way more kills than you. You need to get your bars up. What you need to do is you need to get in the kitchen and you need to go make me a sandwich because you're not good at this. I'm better than you. So she like that. That's the type of energy that
you coming in with that. Okay, I like it though. But if you can walk the walk and back it up, talk your shit and back it up.
She's way better at shooters than me. She my shooter. If I need to take somebody on and shoot, I'll be like, nah, but I'm gonna send my wife, bro.
Well, what's she best at?
She an Apex Legend OG.
Okay.
She used to play Call of Duty before Apex Legends came out, and she's a big Rivals head. So she really only plays Overwatch, Apex, and Rivals, but she is formidable in all three games. And before all those games came out, she was real nasty at Call of Duty. Like I was never. She would drop me off in Call of Duty. I'm not nice in Call of Duty at all.
Halo was the OG. Oh yeah. You've been in the trenches. Halo. Hell yeah. She's been in the game.
Halo. Yeah. Halo.
She's been in the game. She's been in the game. I like it. All right. Let's transition. We was talking yesterday about how we connected, and for me it was initially like the cannabis. I was like, I found out you grew your own weed. I was impressed because we'll get to meet people that come through that do that. So talk about that. Talk about the whole cannabis. How did you get into growing your own? The why part about it. The benefits of what it does for you.
So originally I wasn't really into weed that much. When we came back to California, Dish's father was the one who taught me how to grow weed. So he's got a green thumb, but he wasn't really growing any weed. And at the time, this is when the dispensaries first opened up, and the dispensaries out here, they charge 25% tax, right? And I'm frugal, bro. I'd be like, listen, I'm not trying to keep continuously paying 25% tax for them to sell me Reggie, right? Because that's basically what especially if you buying it. When the dispensaries first opened up in California, they used to have like the weed on the wall, and then they would open the case and they would open like these big glass containers, and then you would smell the weed from the glass container, and then you'd be like, yeah, I want that. And then they would take it out of that glass container, right? Because you were smelling the weed that you were going to smoke. Somewhere along the line, it turned into them giving you weed to smell, and then them sending a package from the back that was packaged last year. So then once that started happening, I was like, listen, I think I'm just gonna start growing my own weed. So I got with her dad, and the scientific side of me kind of took over. And I also had I was working in Berkeley at the time, and I don't know if you know anything about Berkeley. Like Berkeley is kind of like it's like hippie central in California. So it's really progressive so they do a lot of protesting and stuff in hippie in Berkeley. Berkeley is where the University of Cal is, where Cal is. The Cal Bears. I worked at a clinic that also gave out medicinal marijuana. So through my job, I was able to get access to medicinal marijuana seeds, which are a little more potent than the seeds that you would get from, like, let's say that you get something from like a grow website or the Seedsman or something like that. So I would get these seeds for free, and I would just bring a plethora of these seeds home. Dish's father, his dad used to grow like weed and hemp, so he had like old seeds from like the 80s and stuff. So the first part about it was he was showing me how to like grow like tomatoes and rosemary and green onions and stuff. And then we slowly, through him teaching me how to grow that stuff, we slowly kind of refined our own individual philosophy when it came to growing weed. So we grew outdoor and indoor. And we did what was called like a natural grow, where you have a planter or a planting bed or a mound of dirt, and you just throw the seeds in there and you let the weed grow naturally. So when we did that, we accidentally created a hybrid the first season that we did that. So when we did, when we made the first season, so when we made the hybrid, the first season that we did it, it was from some really old seeds that his dad had, and some seeds that I had gotten from work. So then once we got those seeds, we shared it. We shared that weed with our family because we weren't actually, obviously we don't sell it, right? So we shared that with our family, and everybody kept coming back like, "Yo, like, what was that?" We were like, "Oh, like we were just growing it in the backyard." They were like, "Grow that again." We were like, "We don't know if we can grow it again, but we'll grow some more."
Right.
So we started setting up like this. We flipped over. We converted the garage into a grow room and like a room where we break the weed down. And through my job, and then I also started I got a couple of things like a THC boosters and CBC boosters. And we added that to the strain, and we eventually came up with our own strain, and we call it Nuggy Boys OG. Because the reason that we call it Nuggy Boys is that's what we used to tell my daughter weed was, because we didn't want my daughter going around the school or going to her friends and saying that my dad grows weed, my grandpa grows weed, right? So we would tell her that it was called Nuggy Boys, right? So then she would be like, oh, so like she would help. Like my daughter's like a super scientist too, so she would want to help us grow stuff in the backyard. So eventually, like we would give her like certain tasks and stuff. So she would be like, oh, like, are we gonna go? Can we water the Nuggy Boys? So the name of the weed ended up being Nuggy Boys OG because it's like it's a nod to what my daughter used to call weed when she was growing up.
I love that connection. I love that.
Yeah. The reason, long story short, like the reason why we started growing it was because not only did the dispensaries start turning away from natural grow to more chemical based grow, and I feel like a lot of the weed that's in the dispensaries now is sprayed with a lot of chemicals. That's why it smells like that, and that's why it's got like these eccentric tastes. And also bridging the gap between the weed now and the weed back then was something that was really important to me, because the Dish's father had a different style when it came to the weed, because he's thinking about the weed when he was growing up, right? Which is basically skunk, right? So super sticky Jack Herer, like, the original strains, Afghan Kush, Jack Herer, just to name a few. I can't really think of all of them. That's now, like the original Sour Tangy, the original 8, because there's really only 8 original weed strains that come from the earth that you could find. Alaskan Purple is the other one. So Alaskan Purple, Jack Herer, and what was the other one I said? Alaskan Purple,
Afghan.
Oh yeah, Jack Herer and Afghan Kush. So those were the ones that we originally started with, and those were from seeds from the 80s and the 90s that we re-moisturized and got to actually grow. And once I started hitting that, and then hitting the stuff that we would bring back from the dispensary, I would have to smoke like 2 ounces of it. I would have to hit 3 blunts. But the stuff in the backyard, right? I would hit it 3 times and be high for 2 days. And I was like, it doesn't make it's not making any sense. So the scientific mind in me, I get a microscope, and I'm looking at the trichomes, and I'm looking at the marijuana on a molecular level. I'm looking at it on a microscopic level, and I'm noticing that the older weed has way more trichomes. The hairs are way longer. The leaves are dense. They're like I remember looking at the weed that we were growing, and then looking at the weed that we would grow with the seeds that we bought, and Retro, like the leaves that would be growing on this old weed, it was like prehistoric weed. It would he would be growing weed, and the plants, each leaf would have like 11, 12, 13 fingers instead of just like 5. Holy and it would be deep green, and we would grow it like behind the house, and when people would come and visit, it would turn the corner, or when we would wake up it'd be 2 things. When we would wake up in the morning, when that first dew would hit the weed, you could smell that weed for miles. People would come to the house, and they would be like, "Hey, are y'all growing?" And we'd be like, "Yeah, why?" He'd be like, "Cause I could smell that shit when I got off the freeway." And I was like, "I know you lying." He's like, "I'm not lying. Damn. Like, I am not lying." And we live in a coastal city, so we live close to the bridge. So there's salt in the air, and the breeze is always blowing, and that's also something that really goes into how strong your weed is, and how powerful and how potent it is. A lot of the weed that we grew, it smelled like it would have such this deep green chlorophyll skunky smell, and then when it started to flower, it would smell like candy. Like it would the air would smell sweet, and I just fell in love with growing weed. And what's so funny about Dish's dad is, like, he stopped smoking a long time ago, so he was literally just doing it for the love of the game. Like, my man was literally waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like he was anti-pesticides. My man would use fish meal, bat guano, he would use cow manure, steer manure, and we're not. And I'm talking about none of those bottled chemicals that people use now. None of that. Everything that he put on this weed, you could get from Home Depot, and it was amazing to me. And I don't know if I think I posted some of the pictures. When we were growing, he would be growing Christmas trees back there, Retro. I would the biggest one that we ever had that went into the Nuggy Boys OG is the Bahia Black. So my favorite weed is Sirius Black, and Bahia Black is one of the weeds that they use to make Sirius Black. So Bahia Black is the weed that they use for the feeling of the weed. So when they made Sirius Black, I think they mixed it with some sort of purple to make Sirius Black purple. But as far as like the effects of Sirius Black come from Bahia Black. So when I found that out, I was like, we make our weed, I want to mix it with how Sirius Black makes me feel. I want to put that in the weed. So when we grew the Bahia Black, there's when you're growing weed, it clusters, it flowers in 3 different ways. There's cluster weed, where it's cone based, where it kind of there's thick stalks, and then on the stalk it's a lot of little itty bitty nugs that all grow into like a cone. And that is that type of weed originally comes from the Caribbean. Okay. There's Afghan. Afghan is more of the type of weed that you would think of in your mind, where it's like nugs that are probably about that big, and there are about 3 or 4 of them on each stem, and then it kind of branches out into like two branches out, and then there's like one main cone in the middle. That comes from Afghan Kush, and obviously Afghan Kush comes from the Middle East and Africa. So that is that's what weed in Africa grows like. And then there are what's the other one? The Jack Herer. Jack Herer grows. It looks like a piece of shit on a leaf. So it like grows in like a pile like a little short, like it almost looks like a turd, like a weed turd. It grows on top of like like at the end of the leaf, and it grows in like a little, in a little small little bunch. So depending on the type of weed and the type of hybrid it is that you have, you can almost tell the effects of the weed by how it grows and the type of nugs that you get. A lot of the weed that comes in the that you get from the dispensary is indoor weed, and it's packed tight because it's in a temperature controlled environment. And because it's in a temperature controlled environment, they can keep the temperature low, and when the temperature's low, the weed grows more dense, as opposed to in a hot climate. And the reason why the weed in the Caribbean is in cone shape is so the breeze can blow through the weed, and it's mold resistant.
That makes sense.
As opposed to weed that's growing in a colder climate, like a lot of the indoor weed when it first came to the dispensary was coming from Colorado. That weed it's more dense, and it's got a thicker smoke, so that it provides to you the same type of high that you get like when you smoke like a blunt, like a tobacco. It adds that through the smoke that you're smoking, and all of this stuff. Dish's dad was the one that taught me all that, and once we figured out like the type of DNA strand that we wanted to go through, it took about two seasons. So what you originally do is you take the ones that you do want to mix. So it was Bahia Black and Blue Cookies and Sour Tangy. So we wanted Bahia Black to be the foundation of it. So the one season we mixed Sour Tangy with Blue Cookies. So then we used the Sour Tangy male and the Blue Cookies female, and then on another one we used the Sour Tangy female and the Blue Cookies male. So then the seeds from that were the first iteration of Nuggy Boys OG. But in order for the effects of the weed to be consistent, you have to grow it out 2 seasons and then grow from those seeds. So from those seeds, we then grew a Sour Tangy Blue Cookies hybrid that then we mixed with Bahia Black. And then from the Bahia Black and the Sour Tangy and the Blue Cookies hybrid, we then mixed that with weed that it's called THC Bomb. So basically what THC Bomb is, it's a lab created weed that is basically 100% THC. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't grow very well. And the plants are pretty sickly because it's a lab grown weed. But when you mix it with other weeds, it multiplies the yield of the plant like tenfold. So if when we were growing it before we mixed it with the THC bomb, we would probably only get like 2.5 pounds per plant, right? Once we mixed it with THC bomb, we started getting 6, 7, 11 pounds per plant. And it got to the point where the plant was growing so big that the branches would snap. The nugs would be so big on the plant that the branches would snap. So we had to start building trellises and stuff and start growing it sideways because it couldn't grow. We had manipulated the tree to the point where the trunk of the tree was maybe about this big, and there is a like tube that goes through the middle of a weed plant where it sucks the water up from the ground, and it disperses it throughout the branches. It was like a straw in the middle of the weed plant. We actually took the root, the stalk of the Bahia of the first Nuggy Boys OG plant that we grew and turned it into a pipe because it was so thick. It was like a tree.
Y'all was getting creative with it.
Oh yeah, we was going off.
Okay.
We were going off. Oh man, like I was having so, and this was happening. This we first started doing this probably 2019, 2020, and then COVID happened. So then like that's all that we could do. Like when I would come home from my job, we would just be in the backyard, just listening to reggaeton and listening to Puerto Rican music and listening to Trinidadian music, listening to dance hall, listening to soca, and just throwing ideas off of each other, man. And I'm fortunate enough to have experienced Dish's father as my father, where I learned a lot of things from him also, and I'm fortunate enough to have experienced that, man. And he's still alive now, but I'm so grateful to the things that he taught me, and I feel like I turned into like a way better person than I could have been if I only would have had my father. Like, I'm blessed enough to have two grown male mentors in my life.
Yeah, and that's like you mentioned earlier. Having one, like you said, is huge. Having two that can impact you in ways like, I mean, because the way you talk, I'm like, I need to get my notebook and pen out here, because I'm like, there's a lot to that process, and I'm like, so yeah. Can you explain to the audience who may not know, like, the length of a season? Is it actually like seasons as we think of it, or?
Yeah, well, so you start growing, if you want the weed to grow big, you start in like late January, early February, but what we did is, so Dish's mother bought me an arrow garden for Christmas. And I don't know if you know what an arrow garden is. It's like an indoor like an indoor plant thing where you grow like little tomatoes in pods, where it's like got a little lamp and stuff. So I use that to start my weed early. So I would start my weed in the arrow garden, and then I would grow the weed in the arrow garden until the arrow garden would just be full of weed and the weed would be too big for the arrow garden, and then we would transplant it outside. So you usually want to start sometime January, February. You can take it, you can start seed anywhere from January until April. Once you get into May, the plants really aren't going to be that big, and it's not really worth it because you're not going to get a good enough yield from it to be able to, where it would last, and it's not going to hit as hard. You want to give it as much time as possible. And then the harvesting season, it could be anywhere from late August into probably the latest would probably be like around Halloween. Any weed, most weed will, and this is only if you're growing outdoors. Most weed, outdoor weed is done. It should be done at the latest in October. They do have the indoor type of weed though. They have strands called express weed, where it starts its own auto flower. It's an auto flowering plant. So basically, when you grow weed outside, when the weed knows that it should start flowering because the sun isn't out as long. So that's how the weed decides when it's going to flower. So it can be manipulated when you do it indoor. So there's weed that's called auto flowering weed, and basically what auto flowering weed is no matter what, the weed is going to be done. The weed is going to flower in 50 days. So on the 50th day, the weed is going to start to flower no matter what, no matter how cold it is, no matter how hot it is, no matter how no matter how long the days are, no matter what the temperature is, it does not matter. The weed is going to flower. That's what auto flowering is. That's what most people, that's what I would recommend a beginner. If you're going to grow weed, find a weed that's mold resistant and find a weed that's auto flowering. So, because it basically takes care of itself. A weed that's mold resistant, you don't have to worry about, if the nugs are too tightly packed, and you're not going to have to worry about you giving yourself some sort of infection in your lungs because you're smoking mold. So it makes it very easy, and it's safe and effective. So you won't make yourself sick if you accidentally it's very hard to mess up mold resistant auto flowering weed. And you can grow it inside or outside. It doesn't matter. So yeah, the season, the outdoor growing season goes anywhere. I would usually start in like February and be able to transplant the plants outside like mid-April, early May. And then we would harvest September, or like at the latest October. We would always try to harvest before it started getting cold and it started raining, because it would be a whole theatrical performance trying to keep the weed from molding, or trying to keep the weed dry when it did start raining. So So those are the weed seasons, and like I said, that's when you're growing outdoors.
Okay. Juice said, where can I get my own Nuggies Boy OG?
Where can you get your own Nuggie Boys OG?
Yeah.
You gotta come here and get it. You gotta come here and get it. You gotta come here and get it. We're still trying to be in the process of distributing ours to like local dispensaries, but that's a long, arduous process, and the further we get away from the original start of dispensary weed, the more filled up the marketplace is, and the less inclined dispensaries are to buy from all natural growers. But if you come out here, I could definitely get you some.
Definitely.
I'll tell you what, if Retro come out here, I'll send Retro back with something. You know what I mean? And then you can Retro.
Yeah, because we talked about that before. I was like, listen, y'all got you grow your own shit. I know I'm probably gonna have a different kind of experience because I think I'm thinking I'm smoking something now.
Yeah. I'm 100%. I have a cousin who he lives in Texas. Every time he comes out here, he stops off here and he goes, "What y'all got?"
Oh yeah,
I'm
the way you talking, he better.
Yeah, I'm taking whatever it is that y'all got. And I remember the first time that we started giving out weed. And at first, when you have the weed and you first harvest it, it's kind of like the social down season, right? Where people don't really want weed until the summertime for real. Like weed heads and people who smoke weed all the time, they're gonna buy weed whenever. But nobody really wants to try anything new until the summertime. So when we first got it, it was obviously September, October. So we offered it at Thanksgiving because we have like a big family party in Thanksgiving. And you've probably heard the cousin walk. You've probably gone on the cousin walk once or twice, right? Where you leave with your cousins and you come back blown. Like we use that opportunity to test out Nuggie Boys OG. And I remember the first time that we did it, we killed the whole party. We killed the whole party, and then we used the trimming to make butter. And my wife made brownies, and we killed everybody on Thanksgiving on accident. So then Christmas comes around, right, Reto? So Christmas comes around, and everybody go, "Hey, did you bring any of them brownies?"
They enjoyed them shits.
Yeah, they were like, I have never slept so good in my life. I remember our cousins were like, "Yo, them brownies that you made, I went to sleep so hard. It was the best sleep of my life." And then, like my cousin, he said, like, sometimes I'll be buying from the dispensary and I'm like, I'm going through ounces, I'm going through zips. But then I come over here and I buy an eighth from you, and the eighth will last me damn near until the next time I come out here, because I'll take 3 hits and I'll be like, "Boy, I need to sit down."
He said he had everybody out, man. They was all gone.
Yeah.
I haven't had me a good brownie in a minute, man. We was talking about that the other day. I'm like, I could go for a nice little edible brownie.
Right. A nice little dark chocolate thing with a square about.
There you go. There you go. Hell yeah. Shit, I'm just thinking about it right now. Damn. Well, yeah, we had to come out there, man. So you got that good stuff, man. Okay, let's connect that with mental health. Well, that's probably one of the biggest things we want to talk about. I know you want to talk about was that's one thing I learned about you that I didn't know much about, was the mental health, how into it you are. So talk about the background. I know you work, you do clinical work. So tie all that in together.
Yeah, so I work in clinical research, and it's just something that I was naturally into. So I obviously wanted to try and make it a job, right? So through clinical research, I worked on studies with ADHD. I worked on Alzheimer's studies. I worked on diabetes studies. Worked on anxiety studies. I worked on a lot of mental health, depression studies. Back pain studies, and because these patients have back pain, they also then have mental health issues because their body is in pain. So mental health is especially in clinical research, there is always a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist that is on retainer to be able to talk with the clients throughout the process, because sometimes sometimes patients, sometimes we have cancer patients, and cancer patients want to get on these clinical studies, and it's their last hope, right? And they hope that the clinical study does something for them, and it may or may not. So having a therapist or having a mental health professional in the office is a must when it comes to clinical research, just to be able to see where the patient's head is at during these clinical studies. So naturally, from working in Berkeley, and Berkeley being on the cutting edge, and California being on the cutting edge of medicinal usages of marijuana, I was blessed enough to be on a clinical research study that had for depression, anxiety, and ADHD that had to do with medical marijuana. Mm-hmm. So it was amazing to me the bridge that these therapists that I was working with were the bridge that they were building between cannabis use and mental health exercises. And that's kind of like what it is that I want to talk about, that I'm appreciative that you're giving me the space to talk about now. And so basically they would use cannabis. Obviously they're giving it out in measured amounts, right? So it's not just like, oh yeah, smoke as much weed as you want and then come back here and we'll talk to you about your problems. No, they would be like, here's this pre-roll. This pre-roll is, 75% THC, 25% CBD. Smoke this, do these exercises, and then I'm going to come back in the room in an hour. Or take this edible, do these exercises. I'm gonna come back in the room in an hour. We're going to do the test before, and then we're going to do the test after. So the emphasis on that is like cannabis 100% can support mental health, self-regulation when it's used intentionally. Mm-hmm. So a lot of internet therapists or people who tell you that they see their therapist, they don't ever talk about the ways that you can help yourself when you're not around your therapist, right? Because I've suffered my own mental health issues, and I remember there was a time where I thought that I was too poor to have mental health issues because it costs money to see a therapist, right? So because I thought that I was too poor, I had to come up with ways to, because I couldn't pay that $250 copay, because I couldn't pay that $300 copay, right? I at that $400 copay, I couldn't come see my therapist 4 times a week. 4 times a month the way that she wanted to, or 2 times a week the way that she needed me to. And I can only see her once a month, or I could only see her every 90 days, or I can only see her every 6 months. I had to get really good at the self-regulation parts of it. So I experimented on myself. I would be in these sessions with these clinical researchers and these therapists, and it opened my eyes up to a lot where because cannabis can be a point of view changer, I like to call it, where things can go from being bad to being worse, or things can go from being bad to being great, or things can go from being great to being amazing, or you can not wonder about anything. If you're an overthinker, it'll make you an underthinker. If you're an underthinker, it'll make you an overthinker. I saw so many people benefit from weed just because they knew how to navigate the weed and use the weed to their advantage. I feel like a lot of people that smoke weed just smoke weed. And let me not say I think a lot of people that smoke weed. The people who abuse weed and the people who abuse it and it works as a detriment to their life, there's really only a few small things that you need that you can tweak, that you could learn on the scientific psychology side of it, that you can not only multiply the effects of the weed, but also use it to heal yourself, and take and improve yourself as a person. And like obviously different strains are for different mental states, right? So if you're a big sativa person and you want to think about stuff, you should do a lot of sativa or sativa dominant hybrids. If you're somebody who has, who feels things in their body, you're obviously going to be more of an indica person, where you need your body to relax, or your back hurt, or your shoulder hurt, you work a physical job, that type of stuff. You want to be with indicas. indica dominant stuff. You want to pair the weed with real practices, meditation, breathing, grounding yourself, journaling. You want to use that opportunity to, when you're in that different mind state, to do something that you either don't want to do when you're not high, or something that you need to pay attention to more than you can when you're not high, and moderation is what keeps it a tool and doesn't turn it into a crutch. And that's with anything, right? That's with sugar, that's with food that you eat, that's with alcohol, right? That's with anything in overabundance is too much, right? Like if you overdo anything, if you drink too much water, you will die. If you take too much Tylenol, that will be your last headache. You know what I mean? So making sure that you're not overdoing it, and you're not running away from something, is the first step. Think about the reason that you're going to smoke. If you're having a bad day, think about your day before it is that you smoke, before you smoke, right? Think about the anchors that you have, right? Like whether you want it to be calming, or whether you want to be grounded, or whether you're too grounded and you want to be uplifted, right? And that kind of goes back to the Nuggy Boys, right? The three types of weed that we use they all touch on those three different categories of the type of feelings that marijuana can give you. So we mixed it with the sour tangy. Sour tangy is an uplifting type of weed. It helps you with your creativity. It helps you with your mental openness. It helps you with breaking loops, like detrimental, self-deprecating loops, and something that I used to do a lot of when I would smoke sour tangy is I would always want to write stuff down. Like I used to think that I was a rapper back in the day, so I would always write raps off sour tangy. And I'd be like, yeah, that sour tangy used to be my secret weapon, right? And then when it comes to like the Bahia Black, right? The Bahia Black is more of a calming thing. So we're using that to offset the high that the sour tangy is getting you, where your brain is constantly moving. The Bahia Black is the foundation of the weed, so it's going to be slowing you down a little bit. It's something that when I would smoke the Bahia Black, I would always fall in love with the sound of me breathing in my own head. So I would plug my ears and I would listen to myself breathe, and I would just go off into space. I would lay down on my back and I would cover my ears and I would just listen to the air go in my body and leave my body. And I would do that for hours. Like my wife would be like, "What are you doing?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm just breathing." She'd be like, "You just breathing?" Like yeah. Like, so that's what Bahia Black used to do for me. It's body awareness. Like I would feel all 10 of my fingers and all 10 of my toes. I would feel my lips. I would feel my ears, right? I would feel my elbows. I would feel my knees. You know what I mean? Like I would feel every part of my body. I would feel like my skin would tingle, and or I would feel like waves of relief go through my body. I would feel my back would be tense. I would feel my back relax, and it would relax. I would feel like my back would relax, like each spinal column by spinal column, like I could feel my spine releasing from the bottom from the base of my spine all the way back into the top of my neck. To the bottom of my neck. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. And Bahia Black, all of that is the hyper awareness of the inside of your body will help you stay present when you're doing stay present exercises, mental health exercises. When it comes to like the blue cookies is like a calming thing. So again, we want to take you to the peak of what it is you want to feel, but then also take the edge off just in case it may be a little bit too much for you, right? So the blue cookies is for decompression. The blue cookies is a good one for reflection, emotional softening, right? Like if you're really, really angry, you're not so angry after you smoke some blue cookies, right? You know, if you're really agitated, you're high on anxiety, you're wound up, blue cookies will help you relax that. And then also blue cookies is more indica dominant. So the releasing of the tension, it's more of like a end of day processing through your brain to help your body relax, right? So through the uplifting all the different the uplifting, the grounding, and the calming. This is just an example of how it is I would use a Nuggy Boys, right? So switching over to the mental health part of it, right? I'm gonna teach you guys a little bit of like the self-regulation exercises that you can learn, that you could do for yourself. And I, in no way am I a mental health professional, and I am not telling you that you can do this and you never have to see a therapist ever again. I'm just saying that if you don't have enough money, or you don't have insurance, or you're in between your sessions with your therapist, these are things that I use every day, or when I'm down, or when I'm having mental health issues, that will help me get to the next time I see my mental health therapist. We have to understand what it is that's happening, right? If you're having mental health issues, it's because something is being overdone, right? So humanity in itself, in general, especially in social media, we're all chasing 15-second dopamine spikes. When you're scrolling on your phone, it's a dopamine spike. When you're doing the TikToks, it's a dopamine spike. When you're smoking a cigarette, it's a dopamine spike. When you're eating food, or when you're eating your favorite food, when you're drinking your favorite drink, when you're playing video games, it's a dopamine spike. What you want to do is we want to teach our body to self-regulate, so we can turn the dopamine spikes to dopamine long-term reward pathways. And I know that's a mouthful, and just to break down what that is it's teaching your brain that it's okay to not jump from spike to spike to spike to spike to spike. That to build it up is going to be a lot better than a spike, right? It's like an energy drink, right? If you drink a Monster, there's a crash coming. If you drink coffee, there's a crash coming. It's the same thing with mental health, right? If you feel really, really shitty about yourself, and then you go and, I don't know, like you get you a little cutty or something, right? Or you smoke, or you blow two backwoods down, right? That's going to spike. When you're done being high, you're going to drop lower than when you started, because you didn't do the necessary work before you got into that, because you were running away from what it is the issue actually was. So the self-regulation, right? A couple of things with the self-regulation. If you're having issues with derogatory loops. So what a derogatory loop is, you keep doing the same bad thing over and over again, where like, let's say that you're a guy who you're a cheater, right? So every time your girl piss you off, you go and cheat on her, right? Or every time your boss make you mad, you got to take a 15-minute break and smoke a cigarette. You know cigarettes are bad for you, and you know that your boss gonna piss you off again. So you kind of keep yourself in that type of situation without doing the necessary work, because it's a loop. And the way that the human brain is set up is your brain connects itself to patterns, right? And good patterns or bad patterns, your brain cannot tell the difference. If you start smoking cigarettes every 15 minutes, your brain is going to say, in order for me to continue to keep functioning, I have to keep smoking cigarettes every 15 minutes. So it's going to make it a foundational thing in your life. And that's I was talking to you about this yesterday, where I could watch streamers sometimes, and they'll be hitting their vape, and sometimes they hit their vape and they don't even know that they're hitting their vape. They'll be playing the game, they'll hit the vape, then they'll do like 3 more things. 2 minutes later, they'll hit the vape again. They'll be playing the game, and then 2 minutes later, they'll hit the vape again. I'll be like, bruh, how many cartridges do you have? They'd be like, I didn't even hit it that much. I'm like, man, I just watched you hit that vape 6 times in the past 3 minutes. And they'd be like, damn, am I really hitting the vape that? It's because it's a tangible thing that you can pick up that's going to give you that 15-second dopamine spike. You hit that vape and you feeling good. You hit that vape before that Marvel Rivals round starts. You feeling good. Midway through the round, you die 5, 6, 7 times. You hitting the vape again because it done came off. So when you in order to build those long-term things where you don't have those long-term reward pathways, there's 3 ways that you can do that. The one is a micro win. Basically, what a micro win is, the easiest, the executable things that I do for my daughter is get up and make your bed, get up and brush your teeth, get up and wash your face. To give yourself non-negotiables that no matter how bad your day is, you make sure that you do that and be happy that you did that. It's a micro win. What we want to do is we want to build micro wins to the point where we can then pay attention to things that take longer than 15 seconds, right? Whether it's a Marvel Rivals game or whether it's a 4-hour stream where you feel like you keep your energy up that entire 4-hour stream, right? It's all about building delayed gratification pathways where you don't need that 15 seconds every 15 seconds. Otherwise, you're going to fall down to the pits of hell and you're going to fall into a depression. The other thing is the urge surfing. Urge surfing is basically identifying or sitting with what it is that you want to do for at least a minute and a half before you go and do it, right? So if you wake up and you're like, before I even make my bed or I brush my teeth or I wash my face, I want to hit this vape. Before you hit the vape, sit there for a minute and a half and observe that feeling. Like, don't deny your feelings. Allow yourself to feel those feelings and let it wash over. My mom says, you can be angry, but don't be angry for the whole day. That'll drain you of your body. You really only have to be angry at the most for 20 minutes, and 20 minutes is a minute percentage of your day. There's no why you can't be angry and then have a good day. Yep. Right. So sitting with that urge, sitting with, I'm really hungry. Why am I really hungry? Am I really hungry? What am I feeling right now? Observing it, feeling that anger, feeling that anxiety, feeling that sadness, feeling that happiness, feeling that lust, feeling whatever it is that you're feeling, and sitting with it for at least 90 seconds. What that will do is that will train your body to stop immediately jumping for that thing in the first 15 seconds. And we just want to get past the 15 seconds, right? It doesn't have to be a whole minute and a half. You just want to delay it. The exercise and the act of delaying yourself from something, it rewires your brain every single time that you do it. For me personally, it was, I would get mad at my daughter. So I would get mad at my daughter. So I had to teach myself to count to 10 because I would get mad at her and I would be like, I would immediately want to react. But now I'm like, okay, let me stop. Let me count. Let me think. And then let me answer, because I could do terrible damage to my daughter's self-esteem. I could do terrible damage to my daughter's psyche if I don't regulate myself. So that was what I had to. That was what I was struggling with personally. And what that does is it builds distress tolerance. So when you're building distress tolerance, obviously it's going to extend. The more you work at it, the easier it's going to get, and the more that it's going to extend out how long it is you can go without hitting that vape, how long it is you can go without smoking that cigarette, or how long it is you can go without doing something that you are committing an act or performing an act trying to run away from what it is that you're feeling. It's okay to be sad for a minute and a half. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed for a minute and a half. Let it wash over you. There's nothing wrong with that. Feel all the feelings that you want to feel, and delay jumping up and trying to spark, or delay jumping up and drinking that beer, or delay that stuff. The third thing is future self-anchoring. So what future self-anchoring is talking to yourself out loud about the person that describing your future self. So like what would the future version of me want me to do right now, right? So thinking about, if I do go and smoke that cigarette, what would future me want me to do? If I want to smoke this cigarette right now, me in an hour and a half, what would that mean? What would make me feel good that I did? Is it going to be going outside and smoking 3 cigarettes instead of smoking that one? Is it going to be me blowing back 2 backwoods and falling back to sleep? Is it me not brushing my teeth, not washing my face, not making my bed, and then just jumping on the Xbox and not really giving a fuck? You know what I mean? Or am I going to feel much better about myself if I do make my bed, if I do wash my face and I do brush my teeth, or if I don't smoke that alcohol, or if I don't immediately cut the TV on, or if I just go outside and I just bask in the sun, or I just take some time for self-reflection. You want to think about how you're going to feel if you do jump up and do what it is that you feel like doing right now in that 15 seconds. So the regulation and the meditation tools would be the next part of it. So this is what I did. So this during the clinical trials, this is the part of the clinical trial where the patient would be in the room by themselves after they had smoked the weed or after they had taken the edible, and they would do about 6 or 7 different exercises. So one of the exercises is box breathing. So box breathing is obviously it's a box. A box has 4 corners, and each one of the corners represents a different stage of breathing. So you've got the inhale, you've got the holding for the 4 seconds, because obviously it's a box and a box has 4 corners, and then the exhaling and then holding again for 4 seconds. So you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold it for 4 seconds. That's box breathing. You can do that after you smoke, you can do that before you smoke, and it will increase your high. The next one is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. So each one of your senses is a representation of the number. So 5 is what do I see? 4 is what do I feel? 3 is what do I hear? 2 is what do I smell? And 1 is what do I taste? More often than not, obviously not with the edibles, but with the smokers, we would give them a pre-roll, right? They would go outside, smoke a pre-roll, come back inside. It would be like, what do I see? Oh, I see this room. What do I feel? I feel all my toes. Or I feel my eyes are really dry, or I feel my back relaxing, or I can feel all my fingertips, or I can feel that my knee hurts. What do you hear? Some people would hear, I hear a slight ringing, or I hear myself breathing, or I hear my heart beating. The smell. Most people, when they smoke, their sense of smell kind of takes a shit for a minute because obviously you smoked. But with the edibles, with the edible group, I smell air conditioning. I smell a candle. I smell my cologne. I smell my lotion. And then taste, right? Most of the smokers would be like, I taste weed.
Right.
I taste smoke. Right?
Yeah. Taste the runs. Taste like candy, man. You feel me?
Right. The edible people would be like, I still taste the candy, but then I can also taste the weed. I can taste the weed oil in there, right? So that's another regulation and meditation tool. Another one would be name the emotion. So labeling the emotions out loud reduces its intensity. If while you're angry, you say, "Oh man, I'm very angry right now. I'm so angry." And this is something that I do while I stream. I'll be playing video games, or I was playing college football and I lost a game the other day, and I was like, I'm so upset right now. I am very angry, and I don't really get this angry. I'm very angry, and the more I kept saying that I was angry, the less angry I got. So when you label what it is that you're feeling, it dramatically reduces how it is that you're feeling. That's I was also a person that like to keep things inside before I met my wife. So she would piss me off, or somebody would piss me off, and I would not say anything until I blew my lid. And then when I blew my lid, it would be over. So now during the conversation or right after or immediately while I'm feeling it, I'd be like, I'm very frustrated right now, or I feel aggravated, or I feel like I'm not being heard, I'm sad, I'm anxious, or I'm excited, whatever it is. Just labeling it will reduce its intensity. Another one, this is and it really works. Like I said, that is the one that I do so much that I do it automatically now. So it's I'll always label how it is that I'm feeling, and sometimes it sounds like corny. Like I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so excited right now," or I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so anxious right now," or sometimes it'll just be like, "Ah, man, I gotta pee really bad," you know, like so. It all depends. It all depends on the feeling, but that's something that I 100% do 5, 6, 7 times a day. This one, there's another one. It's called 90-second pause, right? So and that's that kind of, I think I've talked about this one already, where your urge peaks and then you hold on to it. Yeah, I did talk about this one already. Where your urge peaks and then you hold on to it for 90 seconds just to see if it can come down. And you can do these together in a tandem. You don't have to like do one and then do the other one. Like you can do box breathing and name the emotion, and then after you're done naming the emotion, during your 90-second pause, you can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. So all of this stuff is like intertwined where you can use it more than once. And the further along we got into the clinical study, they would tell people to pick 3 of them and pick 3 of them to do in conjunction with each other. So to see if it helps or increase the efficacy of the weed, but then also helped with the mental health part of it. The micro tasks, a part of the micro task is a micro commitment, is when you say out loud for the making bed thing. So if I wake up, I don't want to make my bed, right? I've sat down with my emotions. I'm angry that I have to go to work. So then what I do is I sit up and I say, I am committing to making my bed in the next 30 seconds. You put a time limit on it so that you get up and you get it done immediately. So saying it out loud, your brain doesn't know that your voice is you. It's like it's like the way that my mother explains it. It's you're casting a spell on yourself when you talk to yourself out loud, because your brain doesn't know that it's you that's talking to you. So it's just listening to what it is that you're saying. So you can also use that to circumvent negative thoughts that you have in your mind. So if you're thinking that you're a shitty person, or you're thinking that you're terrible, or you're thinking that you're depressed, you can say actively, I'm happy. And your brain will be like, oh yeah, I'm not depressed, I'm happy. Whoops, my fault. And it'll start to move the cognition in a positive way. And it's the same way that it works with the micro commitments. You don't want to make your bed. If you sit up in your bed and you say, I'm going to make my bed in the next 30 seconds, your body is going to say, oh, okay. So let me ramp up here, because I'm going to make this bed in the next 30 seconds. And sometimes you have to say it more than once, especially like for me, like I'm going to cut the grass. I'm going to cut the grass. I'm going outside to cut the grass in the next 30 seconds, right? Or I'm going to order this DoorDash. I'm going to make this dinner. You know, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a shower. You know, like anything that you don't feel motivated in doing when you're thinking about it, if you say it out loud and you put a time limit on it, your body will react to what it is that you're saying, and it will start to make movements to start to go and do whatever it is that you're saying. And it's just, it works the same way negatively, where you could be like, I'm going to punch you in the face right now. You know what I mean? And if you keep saying that, eventually somebody go get punched in the face, right? So the thought labeling, I covered that already, where you're just, you know, the thoughts it is that you're thinking or the emotions, it's almost the same thing, but if you can't, it's like a junior version of that. If you don't really know what emotion it is that you're feeling, just say out loud the issue it is that you're having. Like, I'm frustrated because my OBS isn't working. I'm mad because I lost that game, you know, or I lost that game and it's making me upset. It's like a half step to that. And that's just for people who struggle with defining emotions. Because they don't talk about emotions, or that's not how they grew up, or they have you know, issues with that. Anchor word meditation is another one where you just repeat certain things like calm. Like if you want to be calm, if you keep saying calm out loud, again, your brain doesn't know who's saying that, so it's just going to listen to you. So it's going. If you keep saying calm, eventually you'll be like, okay, it's time for me to calm. If you say steady, 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 forward, 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 right? Go, go, go. You know, yes, 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 no, no, no. Any one of those things. You want to label it and repeat it like a mantra, right? If it becomes your mantra, you can then turn that into. You can segue that into body drop-ins or meditation, right? So meditating is obviously you're going to sit with your thoughts, and you're going to the regular meditation they teach you is to not think about anything, right? But I don't know if you meditate, but you know that it takes a while to get there, right? The first time that you meditate, you cannot shut up in your brain, right? So once you graduate to your body, to your mind being calm, the step before that is body drop-in meditation. So I feel like, especially when people talk about meditation, they say that meditation is like you're meditating wrong if you don't meditate in this way. But there's different steps of meditating, right? It's almost like saying that a caterpillar is a shitty butterfly, right? It's not a butterfly yet. It's not a shitty butterfly. It's just not a butterfly yet. And this first part of meditation is something that I learned obviously during this clinical trial that I had no idea even existed, was that the way that you first start meditating is just the caterpillar version of meditation. You can't, the first time that you meditate, you're not going to turn into a butterfly immediately. It doesn't work like that. You have to work at it. And every step that you work at it, it's not wrong. It's just a step that you're working at, right? It would be almost as ridiculous as me being mad at my daughter because she's not an adult. Like you have to be a kid first, right? And then you have to be a teenager, and then you turn into an adult. You have to think about meditation the same way, right? You start off as a kid meditator, and then you graduate into a teenage meditator, and then you graduate into an adult meditator. And each one of those stages, there's something in the regulation and the meditation tools that you can master to then make, when you do become an adult meditator, make your meditations 3 times as powerful. And so the body drop-in part of it is where you're sitting with yourself and you're feeling your body in where you feel the urge, right? Like when I would be angry, I could feel it in my hands, right? Because I want to ball my fists up and I want to sock something, right? When if you're a person who is averse to confrontation, most of the patients would say that they feel it in their legs because they want to stand up and leave, right? If there's people who have problems with anxiety, you feel that in your stomach. You're queasy. You feel it in your chest. You're breathing kind of funny. You feel like you can't take a deep enough breath.
I know. Right? I can relate to that.
Right. Yeah. So body drop-ins is making sure is feel where you feel that and take deep breaths, concentrating on that area. So how they described it is breathe into your fists, right? So I would get mad and I would ball my fists up. So then they'd be like, sit down and take a deep breath, or stand up and take a deep breath. And when you're breathing, imagine the air going into your fists and releasing your hands. Like feel like you're filling your fists with air. Like every breath that you take is going directly into where it is that you feel that. If you feel it in your chest, it's easy because it's going into your lungs. If you feel it into your feet, pretend that when you're breathing, it's going all the way down into your toes. If you're feeling it in your fist, like I said, when you're breathing, it's going across your shoulders and down into your fingertips. So those are the different meditation regulation tools that you guys can use that are easy, that you can use in tandem with weed and in tandem with meditation to not only will it enhance your high, and it will teach you to if you're this type of person to not use weed to run away from something, but use weed to run to something that you want, and rather than an escape. Because a lot of the patients that had anxiety when they would smoke weed, it's because they were thinking about a whole bunch of stuff and then they would smoke. And instead of them thinking about where they're going or what it is that they want or the peace and the calm that they will get or that they want to have, they're thinking about, I can't deal with this. I'm smoking weed because I can't deal with this. And that's not the mindset that you want to have when you're doing that, because that's what leads to abuse and that's what leads to overusage, because there's always something that you can run away from.
Yep, that's a fact. That is a fact. How long did it take you to really get good at this? Like to really master these?
I'll be honest with you, I'm still not good at it. The one that I'm really, really good at, it took me, the emotion labeling. It took me. I'm a terrible breather, right? I have to actively. My wife has to tell me to breathe because I'm the one who I'm really good at labeling things. So the easy tools for me were the labeling and the breathing and being able to say I'm angry or I will get up and I will do this in the next 30 seconds. That's the stuff that I feel like I'm good at, and it's an ongoing thing. I can't. I wish that I could sit here and tell you like I got it down. I really don't. But
that's real.
I can say that. Yeah, I can say that the emotional labeling part is automatic now, and I can say that took me probably like 5 or 6 years for me to be able to do that with a point where it's automatic to me now. Just to me, just like on a personal note, the meditation to me was the hard part, where it was just like, oh, like I'm feeling all these emotions, sit down and let them wash over me. Like I feel things so heavily, like I always used to feel like I was drowning when I would do that. It would feel, I would actively, like my body would actively feel like I was suffocating. And that's why I have the issues with the breathing, right? You see how it's like it's all in a conjunction where I would be like, oh my God. And I just stop breathing. And then my wife would be like, breathe. And I'm like, no, it's like,
I've been there, man. I've been there, bro. I know what you're talking about, bro. I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm like, just relax. Exhale, inhale, exhale. That do take time, man.
Through therapy and like through my wife, like I was able to break it down and talk to her to the point where I could tell her, like, I could define why I would hold my breath. And it was because I felt like if I breathe, I might let it all out. And if I let it all out, I don't know what's gonna happen. Right. And I can't, like I had the issue letting it go, letting it wash over me. Like I said, it feels like I'm drowning. I'll never be able to come back up for air, but it's just an emotion. You can breathe. You have to breathe. You have to ground yourself. You have to be like, I'm upset because of, and you can't do that if you're not breathing, dog, right? What are you gonna do, pass out? You know what I mean? Right. But it took a long time for me to realize that, oh, I'm holding my breath because in some weird way, I felt like I was protecting whoever it is that was in the room from whatever it is that I was feeling. I had a lot of rage. When I was going through this, I had I was angry and super judgmental. Like I would get, like I said previously, I would get I would let things build up, and then I would explode. And then it would be carnage for everybody involved. And I lost a lot of friends from that. I lost jobs behind that. You know what I mean? you know, I've hurt myself behind that, where, you know, I punch a wall and I punch it right on the what's it called, the wood piece that's in the wall. I can't remember what it's called right now. And, you know, I've broken my hand off of that. Like, I'm telling you, but I've come a long way. So it's definitely a journey. I really can't sit here and tell you that I've mastered anything, but the thing that I'm the best at is being able to label stuff.
And that's those are definitely a lot of those techniques I'm going to be practicing myself, man. And it's all about that self-work and self-improvement, and I had those struggles with being in my own head, and it's like, and even especially sometimes even when I'm high, certain strains we talked about yesterday will amplify that, and it's like in those moments is to tell yourself you're okay, you're going to be alive, and ultimately you tell yourself, no, that do work, and I'm like, wow, and it's just like you said, training your brain to know the positive things, and it's going to be okay, and it ultimately works itself 100%. Out. I love that. I appreciate that. This is a great. I
appreciate you letting me share that.
No, definitely. Like, you definitely cooked and it's a learning lesson, and it's beautiful work. This question is a great question, maybe to follow that up. What's the biggest life experience that taught you a lesson, and what was the lesson?
My biggest life experience, I think it was having my daughter.
Okay.
I was a person that I would hold things in, and then I would explode, and I wouldn't feel bad because I exploded, because I thought that I would give people ample warning. So I would be like, hey man, I'm getting upset, don't piss me off. And then they'd keep doing it, and I'd be like, hey bro, getting upset. You don't want me to get upset, don't piss me off. And then once it got to the point where I blew up, I wouldn't feel bad about it, because I was like, damn, I warned them 4 times. You know what I mean?
Right. Logically. Yep.
Now you finna feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you finna see, right? And I had to come off of that. And it was only after having my daughter, like before I had my daughter, I was okay with just being the cool uncle. Like, I was like, I don't need no kids, man. I'll just be the cool uncle, right? And then my wife told me that she was pregnant, and I was just like, okay, guess I'm gonna be the cool dad now, right? And and I don't like having children. You don't control shit. That you don't control nothing. That kid gonna wake up when they feel like it. They gonna cry when they feel like it. They gonna shit themselves when they feel like it. They gonna take their diaper off whenever they feel like it. They don't understand. They think they in charge, right? And it's a baby, right? And I had to wrap my mind around not being able to control stuff and being okay with that. Like, not having like a firm grip on everything all the time. It taught me how to relax. Because I used to be like a super wound, like I was wound up. Oh my God, I was so wound up. Like I was a super anal person. And that was the main reason why I had started smoking weed in the first place, where it was just like, people don't like me because I am like always wound up. Like I was always correcting people. I was always telling people matter of fact things. Like I was just like the worst version of the scientist. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like somebody would say something, I'd be like, no, actually, that is absolutely not how it goes. And I'd go into this 20-minute rant about it, and they'd be like, okay, dude, like, can I just eat my Jack in the Box in peace? So you'd be like, I mean, it is the Jack in the Box, but do you even really know what kind of meat it is, really? And people always be like, I don't want to hang out with owls, bro. Like, because if I'm chewing gum, owls gonna tell me that the gum is made out of chemicals, and that's the reason that it's so chewy. And the only reason that I like chewing the gum is because it's got sugar in it. And I'm not trying to hear that shit. You know, so I had to relax. So that was the main reason that I started smoking weed, was to relax. So I stopped smoking like when I had my daughter, and at the time me and my wife were vegan. So when we had our daughter, she was premature, so she was in the NICU for 40 or 50 days. I don't really remember exactly how many days it was. I want to say that it was 50 days.
Look at her! Look at her!
Little baby, my little baby. She was in the NICU for 50 days, and
look at her.
The baby hospital. Yeah, so she was in an incubator. She had jaundice when she came out, and she was supposed to be born on the 4th of July, and she was born on April 25th.
Okay.
Yeah. So the powerlessness that I felt really helped me. I worked on my regulation during that time so that I didn't bring that anxious and anxiety energy into this life that was just consuming things for the first time. Like, I'm a big energy vibration kind of guy. So if I didn't want to my negative thoughts and my negative energy to be the reason that my daughter didn't make it out of the hospital. So I actively worked on the tools that I just talked to you about while my daughter was in the NICU, because it was a hectic time.
That's a big, and you grow from lessons, you learn those lessons and experiences, and that's beautiful. Let's see, we got a question here for your current goals you want to achieve in the next 12 months.
Current goals I want to achieve in the next 12 months. I want to get my pilot's license. It's something that I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
So that's something that I definitely want to achieve. Continuing to grow as a streamer and as a person is probably going to be the foundation of that. Anything that comes extra after that, like, I'm not really I want to make $1,000 more. I want to make $10,000. I'm not that type of person. I'm a internal growth type of guy.
Yeah, that's where we connected. Same.
Yeah. So as far as like the goals that I want to achieve in the next 12 months, like that's the type of stuff that I want to concentrate on. I want to concentrate on, like, I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better friend. As far as I do want to upgrade my indoor grow situation when it comes to the weed, because it's kind of still bare bones. And it's a lot of manual things that I have to do. So I do want to upgrade that, if that's like a tangible thing. I want to get more into baking. I used to bake a lot and I kind of stopped doing that. Returning to the kitchen and doing more baking and being involved in different activities, different physical and tangible activities with my daughter is something that I want to improve on in the next 12 months.
Okay, that's a W, man. I love that you just even have goals. Like, no, there's even something that's as simple as having a goal or plenty of goals. Just something to look forward to build yourself up.
100%. My parents always say, I used to hate when my parents used to tell me this. My parents would say, if you just get 1% better every day, at the end of the year, you will be 365% better. And I used to sit down and be like, what the does that even mean? But now that I'm old, I tell my daughter that stuff all the time. I go, oh, you can have for every 2 bad days, if you just have 1 good day, at the end of the year, you'll still be 100% better than you were. Right? And what 100% is a lot, right? So you could have 265 bad days in the year, and you will still be 100% better at the end of the year. Every day. Yeah.
When you break it down like that, it's like, man, but 1%, that's it.
Right. It's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
And you see, you got 365 opportunities every year just to get 1% better. And 1% better is getting up and making that bed. Yep. Getting up and doing that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. getting up and doing that box breathing. That's the 1%. If you just get up and do that at the end of the year, you'd be like, hey man, I box breathe every day. Or I label my emotions every day. You're like, damn, I'm really that dude right now.
That's real stuff. Just that's hearing that just motivates me, man. It's like just look at, because you know we've gone through retrograde season. We just got out of it, and I was just telling Sage on the other day about like I've been having a lot of like reflective things going on, and just simply like just looking at the mirror and be looking like, okay, yeah, you've made improvements, but there's so many other things that you need to work on, and that's just me looking at the mirror. And it's like you gotta have those face-to-face moments sometimes and really get to the crux of where you're trying to go and how can you get there. I was telling somebody last night about the Paul Heyman structure in WWE, like when they're booking a storyline, like he talked about, okay, where am I at now? Where am I trying to get to? Don't worry about how you're going to feel in the middle to get there. Just know where you're trying to go and just flow with the rest of it. Everything else, as long as you are intentional about where you're trying to go, the cards will be laid out and played for you. All you got to do is just walk 100%. It. And you know what I'm saying? But you got to know where you're trying to get to. And looking at that mirror is kind of like, I see the potential where I can be. Or I know I see where I am now. Don't worry too much. And it goes back to what we was talking about. Don't overthink too much about how you're going to get there. You know where you're trying to go, and everything else will work itself out. You know, and so
the Lord rewards those who move with intention.
Yep.
He rewards those who move with intention. He not gonna come and drop it in your lap. You got to go get it. You got to go get it.
Yep. You got it, and it's there for you. It's there for you. It's for everybody. It's there for you. Is this how much of the commitment are you going to make? You can't half-ass it. You know, you can't
do it.
You know,
you're wasting your time and your energy.
Facts, bro. We got a question here. Have you ever dressed up as an owl in the bedroom for your wife? LOL, don't mind. That's actually hilarious, bro. Like I'm actually genuinely curious. Have you actually done that before? I've never dressed
up like an owl. No, I have.
I
have. No. Not an owl. It was a wolf. So I've dressed up. So it was a Halloween costume. So one Halloween before we had a baby, she dressed up as Red Riding Hood and I dressed up as the Big Bad Wolf. And I had the wolf head and the costume. And I put it on a couple of times after Halloween, you know what I mean? So I have dressed up, not as an owl, and I think that's just, if I had an owl costume, it probably would have been an owl, so no, but if I had the opportunity, I would.
Oh, shit. It's still out there. The opportunity's still there.
Ain't no shame in it.
You still can, bro.
No shame in it.
Just gave them an idea, like, you know. You get a little get a pink owl, get up in that thing.
Let me write that down. You know what I mean? Let me write that down. Let's say that for later.
There you go. That might be a nice little Friday night, Saturday night little vibe, you know? All right. That was hilarious. Juice wants to know, who is your favorite villain?
My favorite villain? Ooh, wait. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Who is my? Maybe Bane from The Dark Knight, like off the top of my head, because that Tom Hardy's Bane from The Dark Knight was so methodical and philosophical, but then also he was really strong too. So it was like, not only was he beating you up mentally, but then he was whooping your ass for real too. So I would say Bane, like just off the top of my head, Bane. I don't know if I thought about it maybe a little bit longer.
Bane's a good one though. That's a good one.
Yeah, Bane is a Bane, man. When I watched The Dark Knight that first time, boy, I was like, yo, this dude is not only is he got shit to say for real, but you can't whoop his ass either. You know what I mean? Like he really giving you some business.
Well, shit, losing the mental battle is already the fight's already over at that point. Once you lost mentally, Bane will take care of the rest.
Right. I remember when Catwoman led Batman into that little cage and he closed the door, and Batman just tried to rage out and whip his ass, and Bane was like, "Yeah, you fight with a lot of passion. You fight like a younger man, but you really not like that. I could feel that you old." I was like, "Oh shit."
Talking to Batman, like, come on now.
Yeah, could you imagine if you was fighting somebody and you trying to give him everything you got, and they like, yeah, I could tell that you used to be like that, but you ain't like that no more.
Right.
Like,
Disrespecting you right in mid-fight.
I'm trying to give this boy I'm trying to give him everything I got, and he over here giving me side comments.
Right.
Like, this is crazy.
That's a badass, bro. Like literally patronizing him right in the middle of a fight like this.
Right.
This is Batman? This is it?
Yeah.
Like, come on,
right.
now.
Yeah. I wish I would have fought you 10 years ago, because you mid now.
Right.
Like, damn.
Like, this ain't even a challenge for real. Like,
right.
Nah, that's a good one. I like that answer, Bane. That's a good one. I didn't expect that one. That's a good one. We got Juice. What game you would say got you into gaming?
In my childhood, it was obviously Diddy Kong Racing, but as far as like returning to video gaming and like really getting into video gaming again, where I was like deep, like really feeling it, it'd probably be Mass Effect, the first Mass Effect that came out.
Okay.
I was still kind of like, I was like your typical guy gamer, where it was, if it wasn't a shooting game, it was a sports game. And I'm not really good at shooters, so it was mostly sports games. So I would be like playing 2K or playing NBA Live. But then when that first time that I played Mass Effect, like I started caring about the characters and shit. That's what really got me like honed in on gaming. Mm-hmm. Mass Effect is like, it's kind of like Dragon Age, right? Where you're a hero, and then the first part there's obviously this existential threat, and then the existential threat whoops your ass, so then you have to go collect the team. You go collect the team, you have your little you do your little relationships with the team, and then the whole time you're building up to the final boss. Then you build up for the final boss, and then after you build up to the final boss, the game is over. For me, the thing about Mass Effect, like, hold on. Hey, can you be quiet? Thank you. So the thing about Mass Effect for me is, in the beginning of Mass Effect, they make you think that the one person is the bad guy. So you go and you spend maybe the first 2 or 3 hours fighting this you spend it fighting this guy, and it turns out that guy is a puppet. So then you're like, oh shit. And then when you realize who the bad guy is, you're like, how am I supposed to beat that? And I remember feeling like that's the first time I picked up a game, and I felt like, damn, like, how am I gonna win? Like, this is a video game, so obviously I'm supposed to win, but
right,
how am I supposed to beat this? Like, this is crazy. And it's the first time where I felt like, you turn the game on, and obviously that there's a way that you can win, and you feel like, and it's just like with sports games, right? Like you go into the sports game with the intention to win. When I was playing Mass Effect, I was like, damn, like I might not win. I might actually die at the end of this game, and I wouldn't even really be mad at it because the odds are like astronomical right now. Yeah. So feeling the odds and going through that process, like, really reignited my love for video games and made me go into story games rather than it expanded my horizons when it came to video games, to the point where, like, I play sports video games now because it's like a habit, but like anytime there's an adventure game and I don't know nothing about it, I'm jumping on it just to see what it is, what we got cooking, And that's what really made me fall in love with enjoying video games, to the point where I play a video game and it gives me energy rather than drains me of energy, where I'll play the game until 4 o'clock and be like, oh shit, I need to go to sleep, rather than me play the video game and get bored and turn it off like I used to.
That's how MLB been treating me. I mean, I'll be wanting to get off sometimes. I'm like, damn, I'm having a blast, man. But
bro, you the one to be making me want to play MLB. I'll be forgetting about MLB, and then I'll get in there and I'll smack a home run, or you get that perfect, and you hear that noise. That noise
that's
is
so satisfying.
Boy.
So
that
satisfying.
Perfect. Oh, it's one of the top 3 noises in video games. Is that perfect crack of the bat.
That and that Gears of War headshot. I popped somebody's head off the other day on Gears 1. I popped somebody's head off that crackle. That oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, we sniped. Oh
boy.
my god. So satisfying, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's so satisfying. But as far as the baseball goes, I'm trying to get better with, as you mentioned earlier, about the brain just moving around a lot. And what baseball teaches me, that lock and focus. The ball's coming in, but it's teaching me like, okay, he's going to release the ball. You got to first identify what kind of pitch it's going to be, what kind of pitch you're looking for, and then you got to time it. So it's a lot of things going on in a split second. But if you can really get good at it, it's a level of satisfaction that I get that the more I did is I locked in, and I'm learning like how to read pitches, where's my pitch at, and learning that not every strike is worth me swinging at. You know, like I seen you playing. Not every strike.
100%.
Yeah.
You see me, but I be swinging at some shit I had no business swinging at.
It happens to me.
I use MLB as a barometer for whether I'm tired or not. Because if I'm playing MLB and I'm like really into it, I won't swing at no crazy shit, right? But then when I'm tired, bruh, as soon as the ball leave his hand, I'm swinging, and it's like very early. I'm like, why am I swinging at that? What am I doing? Or I'll swing at something where it's so close. I probably could have got based because they would have hit me, right? But or they hit me and I swung at it, and they just like, okay, well that's a strike. Like you swung at it. And I'm like, you see, I could have been on first base if I would have just kept my bat to myself. But I just got to swing at everything that's coming down here, huh? It's like every opportunity I got to swing at it, and it took me a long time to get over that, bro. Man, my strikeout rate was crazy. I was swinging at all kind of nonsense, and I play Road to the Show the most on Dynasty. I mean, on Dynamic, right? So like once you get to a certain point in Dynamic, the computer really start fucking with you for real. So I think I'm like I think it's like 2034 or 2033 in my Road to the Show now. So now the game know what I be swinging at. So sometimes I'll be facing some pitchers, and I have an issue with swinging at low stuff and stuff that's low and away. Bruh. Sometimes he'll pitch, and I swear to God, it's coming down the middle of the strike zone, and I'll swing at it, and I'll look at it, and I'll be like, how did it end up over there? And now I'm playing it on. Since I've been playing it on Dynamic, it's like every pitcher I face is throwing it low and away, and I'm like, bruh, if I don't stop swinging at this, I will never get on the base ever again. So I'm like, now I'm doing exactly like what it is that you were saying, you're alluding to, where it's like, now I'm trying to identify the pitch when it's coming out, or the hand placement when they throwing it, or making sure that my hand is ready to move up and inside, or low and outside with the what's it called? The PSI?
PCI,
with the PCI, right? So I still struggle with that, bro. Like I swing at shit, though. I still I'll strike out 3 times before I go, okay, let me calm down.
It gets frustrating, and I discipline myself. I tell myself that's not a good swing. And I discipline with me and Big Wayman playing lately. I said, listen, after every game, I'm counting in my mind how many I shouldn't have swung at that, and that's 10 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? I gotta discipline myself some way, and that's how I've gotten better. But for me, I take the first pitch. The first pitch tells me what this is going to be. Is it either a strike or is a ball? So if it's a ball, I can play around a little bit more. I can be more selective. Like if I'm looking for something in the middle of the plate, I can be a little selective because I got a ball. So if he throws me the next pitch and it's a strike, but it's like on the edges where I don't want it, I'll let it go.
Yeah.
But before I used to swing at those, and it's like I learned like those are not really good swings for me, and I need to get more locked into swinging at stuff that I know I can hit. And they'll throw you a good pitch, and you just gotta be like chalk it up as in like that's a good pitch, and it's like nothing you can do with it, because not every pitch strike is a pitch for you. And so figuring out the pitch for you and then locking in on when I see it is gone. And that's where I'm trying to get at. I'm still working with that process, but before I didn't used to go up there with a game plan. I used to just hack at everything. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn like, well, this is get me. I mean, every once in a while you connect on one, you get a little home run, but it's like this isn't sustainable. I have to learn principles here, you know. So
I'm kind of the same way. I'm segueing into now. The pitchers are throwing me strikes that I'm swinging at, so that I get out through weak contact. And I'm trying to work my way past the weak contact part now, where I'm like, I'm swinging at it and I'm getting contact, but it's weak contact. So I'm out before I get to the base anyway. So it was a waste of time. Right. And sometimes like I'll see a pitch and I'll be like, I can't not swing at it. And then I'll swing at it and it'll go right into somebody's glove.
Oh, yeah. That'd be the worst.
Perfect. And I got the timing and I teed it up, but I was supposed to let that one go. And now I'm out. And if I would have waited, I would have got the pitch that would have got me on the base.
Yep. And that's how it always be. And that's how I had to learn. Like, if I had just not, because one bad swing could mess up in the bat. They could change the at bat around. It's like, okay, it's like a chess match. The pitcher's trying to get away with pitches out the zone to get you to swing at it. And if you discipline to not swing at those, now he's got to throw you something over the plate. And then you just got to look for that. You just got to look for it, you know. But it's a game. Like, that first pitch will tell me, okay, what you trying to do? Oh, that's a ball? Okay, you ain't throwing nothing. Ball 2, and it's like, okay, he might throw me a strike on 2-1, and if it's right down the middle, I'm going to hit it. But if it ain't, it is what it is. And then you just learn more by the tendencies, the kind of pitch they throw. That's why I love baseball. It's a lot of thinking, but it's very satisfying and rewarding once you really understand the psychology of the game. Like, especially online, people be like, if they see if I can hit the fastball, they'll keep throwing it until I hit it. And it's like, all right, my mind's like, all right, well, that's what they trying to do. I have to swing a little earlier because I'm late. I have to swing a little earlier, and you know, and then when you hit a home run off of them, they second guess it now, and then you get something more favorable. So it's a mental game. I love it. I love the mental game behind it all.
I do appreciate. I feel like road to this show, because I used to be a 2K my career, my player guy. So and I gave up 2K a long time ago. But good choice. It's just that scratch that road to the show is like, I needed that, where I feel like I'm playing and I'm experiencing each individual pitcher, and I pitch too. So I pitch and I catch. So I'm experiencing each batter, and I'm also experiencing each pitcher, and like it's getting to the point where like I'm starting to have respect for certain players just because I'm playing them in MLB, and because of, you know, the dynamics. Like, some people, it's like Paul Skeens, bro. I hate to see Paul Skeens coming, bro. I hate to see Shohei coming, man. I tell you, I swear to God, I hate to see Shohei coming, man. And you know, there's like pitchers that, because I'm like in 2034. There's this one pitcher called Stephen Kwa. Bro, he got drafted in like 2028 or 2029. He's like a creative player, but I hate to see him coming too, because he the one that started pitching that low and outside, and I feel like everybody's seen that I couldn't hit him, and he was pitching low and outside. So now everybody want to pitch low and outside, and that's what I'm going through now. Where I'm just like, bud, like, I'm ready to cut this game off. If you give me another pitch low and outside, and I swing out my shoes and run back. Have to walk back to the dugout.
They got that scouting report on you, man. They know. They know.
I'm trying to tell you, I'll be sick, bro.
Like, he gonna swing at that thing.
Sick. All right, I'll be super sick.
But that's the beauty of the chess game, because it's like, all right, they know my weakness. Now I have to learn to either not commit or have my PCI in that area to do something with it. But otherwise, that scouting report doesn't be like, okay, he gonna keep swinging at him. down and away, slider down and away.
Right.
You're gonna keep
Right.
chasing it,
This
you
thing
know.
was stupid as hell.
And that's how you know people that are serious about their game. If there's like you had a flaw and it's like now all of a sudden that's like that's easy work for you now. It's like you worked on your game. So yeah, that's the beauty about sports in general. I mean, we didn't even get to talk about sports a lot, but I do want to get into your love. What time is it? We got about 30 minutes. Because you streaming too at 10:45, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about sports. You're a Golden State Warriors fan. Talk about the love of where the love of that team came from, and talk to me about this run that they've been on at least for the last 10 years when they won the championships. Have you been to a Golden State game? Have you been to a finals game, I should say? And talk about all that.
Okay, so my dad is a basketball head. So my dad is a basketball nerd. He used to do fantasy basketball with his friends before computers came out, and he was the numbers guy. So I grew up like watching basketball, and we would always watch the Warriors because we're from the Bay Area, or we were living in the Bay Area, and the Warriors were so bad, like. It made me love basketball because the Warriors were so bad. Because I knew the Warriors were bad. I knew we weren't going to win no games. So I just had to love the game of basketball in order to appreciate the Warriors. So I grew up watching basketball with my dad. I played basketball, a little bit of basketball in high school. Wasn't tall enough to make it to the NBA. I mean, didn't play collegiate or anything, but I played a little bit of basketball. My little brother played basketball. So we live probably about 20 minutes away from the Oakland Arena when they were in Oakland. And because they were so bad, the tickets was like $10, $20. So like every 2 weeks, my dad would get paid and we would go watch a Warriors game. We would go on the Taco Bell days so that we could, so if they scored 100 points, we could get tacos. And we would get Taco Bell tacos on the way. Yeah, we would get free tacos on the way home. We would go on bobblehead days. We would go when Kobe would come in. We would go when the Blazers would come in because the Blazers were my dad's second team. We would go when the Rockets would be in town. So I've been to many a basketball game. I turned my wife into a Warriors fan because she was really just like a baseball fan. I turned my wife into a Warriors fan, and we were at the watch party when they won the first championship. We went to the Oakland Arena and we watched that in the Oakland Arena. And they were partying outside after we won, so I went with my wife to the watch party. And then when they won, when they had KD, we took our daughter to a watch party when she was a baby, and we got her like these pink noise canceling headphones. And we went to the games and we saw that. I've been to a couple playoff games. I haven't been to a finals game. But I have been to like the watch parties that they do for the finals games. I feel like it was pretty much the same. I mean, obviously I didn't get to watch them and most of the championships that they won. Oh, here's a picture of it. So we made a mouse pad of it. So this was when they won the second championship that they won. Was it 2018? And here are the headphones right here. My daughter brought the headphones. No, 17. So 18, my wife was we were in the hospital when the Warriors were playing the Rockets and they were down 2-1, and there was a joke that we were my daughter decided that she wanted to be born because the Warriors needed her because they were down 2-1 to the Rockets, and then they never lost another game. That's the running joke that we had. Because the Rockets was whooping our ass in that, and then I think it was game 2 that Chris Paul pulled his hamstring.
Yeah, CP got hurt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My daughter was born like that weekend. Right?
Okay.
So then we were saying, oh yeah, like my daughter was like, oh, the Warriors down 2-1. I got to get up out of here, mommy. Hey, I'll be damned if the Warriors be 2-1 and I got to be born because they need me. So then they went on to win the championship. So then the next year is when we took her to that watch party, and then they won then too. So she got to participate in that. And when we were at the watch party, I remember we were talking to the people that were there. They were like, "Oh my God, like that's so cute that you bring your daughter. You got to start them off young." When they won in 2022, I took my daughter to her first game, I think the first game that she went to was a Spurs game. I think Jordan Poole used to be her favorite Warrior, and I think Jordan Poole went for like 30 something that night. So, and that was her, and that was the first game that she went to when they were actually there. We went to a watch party. We've been all the away games that they won, all the championships that they won away. We were at all the watch parties, and so we were we were amongst our people when we won, and just the vibe of the Bay Area when the Warriors win, it's like you feel like you could do anything. Like I vividly remember how I felt that entire year after the Warriors won the championship. Anytime I would feel down, I'd be like, if the Warriors could win a NBA championship, anything is possible. And anything can happen. I never thought that I would see the Warriors win a championship, and I've seen the Warriors win 4 championships. It's crazy to me. And each one of them has a different personality too, where the first one, it was like nobody expected us to win. So it was kind of like, haha, like the Warriors kind of snuck up on you. Then when they lost, and when they went 73-9, that one made me feel what snatching defeat from the jaws of victory felt like. Like, I'm still not over that. Like watching the Warriors, watching the Cavs come back down 3-1 was probably the most debilitating thing I've ever witnessed in sports.
Draymond wanted to be Draymond and got suspended.
Yeah, bro. That was my first. That was the first time I got my distaste for Draymond, and he didn't. What LeBron did to him was unwarranted, but he wouldn't have been in that situation if he hadn't kicked Steven Adams in his nuts in the one before that, if he hadn't stepped on old boy in Portland before that, if he hadn't racked up all them technical fouls before that, we wouldn't even have been in that situation. And I remember Draymond played a really good game in Game 7 when we lost, and he had like 32 and like 12, and he had a triple-double, and we still lost.
Yeah, Steph didn't have his best shooting game.
Yeah, well, if you remember, that was the same year that Steph, when they were playing Houston, he got undercut by Trevor Ariza, and he twisted up his knee. If you remember, and he came back against Portland because he had hurt himself, and it was the "I'm here, I'm back." That was that year, and he was just banged up like all the way. And then I remember. They were down 3, or no, they were down 6, and Steph had the ball at the break, the 3-point elbow, and he tried that behind the back pass to Clay, and that shit went out of bounds, and I was like, oh my God, we lost this shit. I know we ain't never coming back. But then also the series right before that was that series where we came back down 3-1 against the Thunder.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so, that was one of my favorite series, bro. That's such a good series.
That's when I fell in love with Clay. Game 6 Clay. Ooh, I remember exactly where I was when Klay Thompson did that. Bro, oh my God, Klay Thompson had crazy aura in that game. Oh, yeah. When Klay Thompson did that, I was like, yeah, they can't win Game 7, but they ain't gonna stop us.
Hand all in the face, still just drain them threes. I'm like, God damn.
That boy was unconscious.
Yeah.
Klay was unconscious in that OKC series. That shit was crazy. Yeah. And then to have them lose that shit hurts. Then when we got KD, that braggadocious champion, those 2 braggadocious championships where we swept the Cavs the second year, and we beat them 4-1 that first one. That kind of refilled my confidence, where I felt like nobody could ever beat the Warriors, and we needed that after that 73-9 fiasco. So those two championships made me feel a little bit different about the Warriors, but the last one is my favorite one, because it was Steph. Steph did that.
Yep.
It was Steph and two people that you never would have. It was Andrew Wiggins. Like
that was when he got his first Finals MVP, right? That was his first one.
Yeah,
Steph,
And just like the one thing that I remember, so many things from that. I remember the way Jordan Poole played when they played against Denver. I thought Jordan Poole was the next coming to Steph Curry. Jordan Poole was habitually giving the Denver Nuggets 30. I remember when they played against the Mavericks and Andrew Wiggins exploded on Luka Doncic and they called an offensive foul but then they reversed it. That was probably the second nastiest dunk I've ever seen. The first nastiest dunk I've ever seen was Baron Davis in the playoffs with the Warriors when he dunked on Andre Karolinko.
Was that 07? What year was that?
Yeah, I don't know when that was.
That was nasty.
I remember exactly where I was when that happened. I was at my cousin's house when we was watching the game, and that man dunked on Andre Karolinko and lifted his shirt up. Yeah. We all ran out of the house. We were like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And remember, Karolinko was a good defender. That's what made it even more crazier. Like he got dunked
on. He drove left-handed baseline and cocked it back with his right hand and just exploded on Karolinko. But the second nastiest dunk I ever seen was Wiggins on Luka, and we basically did the same thing. Like he dunked on Luka, we were all like, ah. But then they were like offensive foul. We were like, what? Offensive foul? And it kind of killed the moment, but it still was a crazy dunk. And just like Andrew Wiggins inspired me in that series. I mean, in that playoff run, him and Jordan Poole, because Jordan Poole was making it look effortless, just like Steph. And Andrew Wiggins was a cast off, right? Like nobody wanted Andrew Wiggins, and to see Andrew Wiggins do that was crazy. I remember we went to the parade, and Mike, I took my daughter to the parade, and they were saying, Mike, what's the coach that won with the Knicks just now? I can't remember his last name. But Mike Brown. The black coach, Mike Brown. Mike Brown, he was doing he was giving like the speeches, and he said, I remember I knew we were going to win the championship when I realized that Andrew was activated. He said, we were going over the defensive game plan, and Andrew came up to me after the meeting and he said, Coach, I'm gonna pick up. I think I'm gonna try to pick up. No, he said I'm gonna pick up Luka full court. And Mike Brown, he said, I turned to him and I said, "You gonna do that all game?" And Andrew looked at me and said, "I'm fucking locked in." Like, what the fuck?
That's Luka Doncic, like, okay.
Yeah, blood. So when he said that at the parade, I was like, "That's crazy, bro." And he was like, "I knew he wasn't gonna lose when Andrew said that he was locked in." And I know you've probably seen that there's like a meme of Andre Iguodala on the bench, right? And he jumps up and he goes, "God damn it, Wiggs!" And he goes, "Man, call Wiggs." He said, "Wiggs, come here." So then Wiggs is walking over to him, and Andre Iguodala's like this, right? And Wiggins walks over to him and he goes, "Don't give him no space. I want you to be. You see that he's bent over like this. He's got his hands on his knees. Don't give that motherfucker no space. I want you to be in his ass, in his ass." I watch that video probably once a month. I think it is the best.
Send that to me. I haven't seen that. You have to send that to me.
Yeah, I will send that to you. Andre is like, he's so upset with Andrew Wiggins, and Andrew Wiggins like, "Man, what did I do?" And Andre is like, "Nah, you see, don't give him no fucking space. You see that he tired. He got his hands on his knees. Don't give him no space. Stay on his ass." And Andrew's like, Yeah. And like maybe 2 or 3 plays later is when Andrew dunked on Luka like that. I'll send you the video.
Please do.
It's a fire video. It's a fire video.
Yeah. Wiggins not playing.
The news just came today that LeBron is going to Philly, so I already knew that he wasn't going.
We was talking about that yesterday.
That he wasn't. He wasn't going to go to the Warriors, and I feel like I'm appreciative because, like I said, I was a Warriors fan when the Warriors was buns. So I'm appreciative of the 4 rings. And I'm also aware of the fact that the reason why I'm disappointed in the Warriors now is because they gave me 4 championships. You know what I mean? Like, because I saw that, and it's a core memory from my daughter. Like, my daughter's got Warriors jerseys. My daughter doesn't know that the Warriors ever sucked. So she gets mad when they stink. She'd be like, "What is going on? Like, we're losing." And I'd be like,
winning.
"Baby, yeah, you on the back end of this. Like, Steph Curry is an old man now." She's like, "Well, why do we suck now?" And I'd be like, it would be hard for it to explain. And to watch her have a different relationship with the Warriors that I do, where I'm so appreciative of what the Warriors gave me. And she's kind of like, "Oh, why are we not winning championships? Why are we in the play-in? What is happening? The play-in? Huh? Why are we in the..." She was like, "Daddy, I'm not trying to watch play-in games. Call me when they get into the playoffs." I'd be like, "Girl,
they got standards.
You might not see us in the playoffs. So let's just watch this play-in game." And she's like, and the whole time, the Clippers game we were watching, this is my daughter's face the whole time. She's like, play-in game? Yeah. Like, okay, we won the play-in game, and then I don't remember who it was. Yeah, she's like, "What?" Like, gross. She's like, her thing is like during the playoffs, like she would put her jersey on and like watch the games, but she was like, I don't put my jersey on for playing games. So I was like, okay, excuse me. Like, all right, you got it. I can't hold you.
Right.
But especially like I was going through like a lot of mental health stuff when the Warriors first started winning their championships, and it really helped me. It might sound corny, but it really helped me with feeling like defeat, where I just keep going. Like the Golden State Warriors won a championship. You can work yourself out of a depression. You have the necessary tools. You don't have to feel like this. You don't have to stay like this. This is a wave. Let this wash over you. As long as you put in the effort and you show the consistency, if the Warriors win a championship, you can turn your life around. You can turn yourself into a positive person. You can eliminate negativity, majority negativity in your life, and you can be a role model for your family and be a role model for your child, and you can enjoy your life way more than you thought, and through Steph Curry and the joy that he plays with and the joy that the Warriors played with, like it really helped me a lot when I was going through the stuff that I was going through.
That's powerful. That's very powerful. Yeah, the beauty of sports, man.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple questions here. Man, I figured this was gonna happen. It was this was so great. It was so many things we had to get you back on, man. We had to get you back on for part 2.
Say less.
We gotta get you back on, man, because I definitely wanted. We even touched Twitch, the content side of it. We gotta get you back on, man. We gotta get you back on.
I would appreciate it. I love that. Yeah. I would love to come back on.
Yeah, we definitely are, man. Definitely. This was great. All right. Last couple questions we got for you. Someone asked, have you seen Crooklyn?
I have seen Crooklyn.
Okay.
Crooklyn is like a core memory for me, because Crooklyn was like one of the first little black movies that I watched where I'm pretty sure Crooklyn is a Spike Lee joint too. Is where I got to witness, like, they weren't gang banging. You know what I mean? Crooklyn is about a Brooklyn family and the stuff that they family went through, right? And they're following the daughter and her growing up in Brooklyn. And to me, that is like one of the classic black movies. Like, that's so funny that you bring up Crooklyn. Like, I love Crooklyn. Crooklyn is a good movie. It made me kind of want to watch Crooklyn again.
Watch it again, right? You got motivated, right?
Yeah. That's a W. I love it, yeah.
We might have to do that for a movie night, by the way. All right, we got one last question we got for you. You might have touched on this earlier. What is the thing that made you become 25 hours specifically?
Before I started streaming, I watched streamers for a while. I want to say like almost 3 years I was watching streamers, because the first year I was like, I don't have nothing in common with no streamer. Let me just watch these streamers and see what's going on. I was the kind of person who was like, who watches people play video games? I could just play the video games myself. You know what I mean? So that was the first year that I spent when I was watching people on Twitch. The second year was I kind of started off on the non-melanated side of Twitch, and I was like, where are the black people at on Twitch? So then once I found the black people, the second year of Twitch was just all black people on Twitch. I was just like, I'm only watching black people on Twitch. So I spent all the second year of Twitch trying to find people that looked like me or that sounded like me or could relate to the things that I related to. The third year was like research, where I was like, I think I could do this. What type of channel would I want to be? And that third year before I actually started streaming, that's what I spent that time on. So when I was coming up with my gamer tag, I don't know if it's coming up on here. Like my gamer tag on Xbox is Blackhandville. So it was basically like a clan that I have with all my family, right? So I was like, I don't really want to. There it is, right there. I don't really want to be Blackhandville on Twitch. So I need to come up with a different persona, right? So what do I feel like I want to embody when I turn this stream on? And I want it to be all of the things that my family thinks that I am, right? They think that I'm a great guy, you know, they think that I'm a great dad. My wife thinks that I'm a great husband. She thinks I'm a kind, gentle person. She thinks that I'm funny. You know, she thinks that, you know, I fill her with positivity. I fill her with high vibrational stuff. I want it to be the best version of myself. And I feel like the label 25 owls, like when I log on and when I get on, I'm not me anymore. I'm the best version of myself. So that's who 25 owls is, and that's what 25 owls represents to me, and that's why I picked to be 25 owls. And then also too, like, I'm kind of a nut, so like I feel like I got about 25 different personalities. You know what I mean? So I could be one of any of these 25 different owls, right? Like I just recently started playing college football, and before I started playing college football, I was telling my stream, I was like, listen guys, I know that you're accustomed to a certain type of owls, but when I start playing football games, I start acting the fool. So I apologize for what y'all might start to see in me, because football bring this part out of me. I cuss a little bit too much. I start running my mouth, you know what I mean? So that
comes with the territory of playing that kind of game.
Football games is one of the very few games that I'm still good at, right? So I still have like that little competitive side to me. As far as like other games, I'm just here for a good time. Like I'm just here to enjoy the video game. But like football, I'm like, nah, blood. I'm here to take your heart. Like I need it. I'm getting mine in blood, right? So the competitive side of me comes out when I play college football games. So that also has to do with the 25 hours, where like 25 hours is a happy, easygoing guy, but hey, 24 hours getting it back in blood. You know what I mean? 17 hours is calling your mama a hoe, because you was running your mouth in the chat. You know what I mean? So so it's a little bit of both.
Just be aware of what you gonna get any given night, any given moment. You know, just be ready. But it's still accept me for who I am. All 25. You know, all 25 of these owls. You don't know who you gonna get. You gotta love and appreciate all of them. Clap it up for 25 hours, everybody. This was great. Well, actually, hold on. We got one more. I'm gonna flip this in here. Thank you for whoever put this question here. Yep. What's your favorite Twitch community moment that makes you smile?
My favorite Twitch community moment. It makes me smile. Two. I have two. Okay. One is I have a viewer that's always in, who's usually the one that gets my chat going. I think she's in your she's in your chat right now. It's Bubble Bree.
Okay.
So when Bubble Bree first came into my chat, I didn't know whether it was Bubble Bree or if it was Bubble Bry, right? So it could have been like short for Brian, right? So I didn't want to mislabel her or him, right? So I was like, oh yeah, Bubble Bree. I'm just gonna call you Bubble because I don't know whether you're a guy or a girl, right? So she was like, oh well, I'm a girl, but I started calling her Brian, but like maybe for like 15 or 20 minutes before that. So now it's like a running joke. Whenever she comes into the stream, we go Bubble Brian. So it's like a little inside joke that we have because I accidentally mislabeled her because I thought that she was a dude, and I was like, oh well, I was just trying to be, I wasn't trying to not be inclusive. So then I was like, oh well, I'm sorry, I don't want to assume that you're a female. You might actually be a male. So let me. How you doing,
you
bro?
Did right.
And,
you did right.
Yeah. So that's a moment that was probably the first like hearty belly laugh that I ever had on stream. And then the other one is, you've probably seen this, when Hood Ninja does the cosplays for Rivals.
Oh Jesus,
bruh, he had on.
Oh Jesus.
He had on like a Donald Trump wig. We could not figure out who the fuck this man was supposed to be. We were like, bro, we were cracking up. He had the wig so low, the V-neck was damn near touching his eyebrows, right? So we cracked it up. And we like, bro, what is he got? What do he got on? And we was like, oh, it's Black Donald Trump. Black Donald Trump. We in there cracking up.
No, his cosplay hilarious.
Dying, bro. So then he put the little necklace on, and then he started doing this, bro. I'm dying. I could not stop laughing. I was like, oh, he Doctor Strange, bro.
Yeah, he was Doctor Strange.
I never in a million years would have thought that this fool was Doctor Strange.
I don't even think he believed that.
Bruh, the V-neck, the widow's peak, the widow's peak had me dead, bro. He looked like he had a fake Donald Trump wig on, bro. It was so bad.
Bro, it was some cosplay on, bro. I was like, bro, it's so tight, bro. Can you even breathe in here, bro? I'm like, can you even breathe? Like, it was like, damn.
Yeah. When he dressed up like the Thing.
Yeah, it was the Thing. Yeah, it was Thing. Yeah. It was the Thing. Yep. I popped in there. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
He said, I can't even see. He said, I can't even see. Yeah. He's like, he was looking out the mouth hole. He's like, bro, I can't even breathe out this bitch. He's like, I can't even see. What the hell going on, bro? Then he tried to take it off, and we was like, nah, blood. You said whole stream. You said whole stream.
Oh man, I remember my reaction when I first saw. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" I said, "Oh, ain't no way, bro."
Bruh, that Hood be having me cracking. I love Hood
Ninja. Hood Ninja's the best, bro. Hood Ninja's great, man. He
is, bro. Hood Ninja be having me. He be
selling them costumes. He'll sell it for you. He'll make you laugh.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. He'll really do it too. He'll really be in it. And then were you there when he tried to put, he had the thing with the do-rag on, right? The Marvel Rivals. Then he tried to put the do-rag on with the mask on.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, bro.
The Ninja a cat for real,
he just experimented at that point. Like,
yeah, he a whole cat. He a whole cat, bro. Then he got MVP, bro. He got MVP, and then he stood up and he did this.
He just flexing. Ain't no way, dog.
I was dead.
Ain't no way.
I was dead, bro.
That's too funny, man. Yeah, Hood is a character, man. He's a W, man.
Bro.
One of my favorite people on this damn platform, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Thank you for the raid, Spaz. Clap it up for the raid and clap it up for 25 hours, everybody. We appreciate y'all. This podcast will be on Spotify, Double R Show, and on YouTube. The link should be in the chat, so make sure you go check us out. Wow, this was a great episode. I learned so much, man. This was absolutely beautiful. 25 Owls is celebrating his Twitch affiliate. He's doing a Twitch. Are you getting ready to? Are you getting ready now? Like, or when? Yeah. Okay. Yep. So we're gonna be raiding out to him after we finish the show later in about a couple hours. So make sure you go show love. Affiliate anniversary. I remember when I got my first affiliate, and I couldn't believe. I was so happy. I'm like, I just need 3 viewers. 3.
Right.
And, that
grind is rough, ain't it?
That's
like 3.
3, like, yeah. You look at it now, like, but back then 3, like, whew, why is it so hard to get 3 people to be in here consistently? Like damn.
Right. I don't know what's harder, that 0 to 3 or that 4 to 10.
Yeah. Ooh.
That 4 to 10 will break your neck.
Yeah, that
for
4 to
real.
10 is tough. Yeah. You gotta build on that affiliate momentum. It's like, damn, it's not as easy as I thought it might be.
Right. It really is.
Yeah. So thank you. Make sure you go check out his socials as well. That is 25 Hour Socials, his YouTube and his TikTok. Make sure you go show some love. All right, I'm gonna leave it all on you, man. Anything lasting things you want to say before we get up out of here?
I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this podcast.
No doubt.
I really do. Shout out to you. Shout out Retro, man.
I appreciate it.
I feel like I accomplished something being on a Retro podcast, man. I'm gonna ride this high for the rest of 2026.
I love it. I love that, man. Listen, you signed up, you wanted to be on, and you know I just like everybody's podcast is different, and I had a great vibe. I like learning. I like catching a vibe and just having great conversation. And we did that plus more. So this is a W. And like I said, we getting you back on because there's still a lot of things we didn't touch. So we'll definitely see you back on, man.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it.
All right, 25 hours, everybody. Clap it up. One big clap. W, and we will see you in a bit on your stream to celebrate your affiliate anniversary.
Appreciate you, dog. I'll see y'all soon.
All right.
I'll see y'all soon.
25 hours, everybody. Peace.